knots going. We got it knots.
The Troubleshooter.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino. Thank you for joining us, because this is the only place you're going to find on radio where you actually hear sensible things. You know, we're not going to tell you how to vote. We're not going to tell you what to vote for. We're not going to tell you how to believe. We're not going to tell you who to make love to. All we're going to do is say, hey, let's have a good time and help people. Everyone agrees on this. There's a covenant of fairness. If someone is unfair, if they suck, we want to expose them. This hour brought to you by Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. You know what? Frank, I've decided, is a Marvel superhero. He's not human, and you just don't even try to be like him. I said, Frank, do you sleep? The man is crazy. It's the only word I have for it. He's not normal, okay? So if you want the very best, if you want a Marvel superhero, Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, a big F on his shirt. Maybe we should change that. Anyway, Frank Duran, the real estate man. How about FD? So that's Frank. 303-867. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. That's not his number. I was going to give you another number. But Frank Duran, the real estate man, 303-920-1622. 303-920-1622. Let's go and talk. Carol, what's on your mind? We're solving problems. We're answering questions. We're taking complaints. And thanks, Major Mark Major, for last week, for filling in. I want to tell people about a small trip I took, and the new, I think, epidemic, the swarm, coming up. Carol, what's happening?
Yes.
What's going on with you?
Okay, listen, I was trying to rent a 3-bedroom home over there in the University Hills area. It was actually on Craigslist.
Uh-oh.
Could
be a scam. What's happening?
Well, I did look up the owner, and the owner was the same person who is running this ad.
Well, you're smart. You're smart. And a lot of people don't do that. And there has been a big rash of scams of people putting up homes for rent. They meet people there because the house is vacant. They take money, and they don't even own the home. So you're pretty smart if you actually went so far as to check out ownership. That's good.
Right, I did.
Okay, good.
So I did, but I also saw the house was on Zillow for rent, and they wanted $2,200 for the same one.
And how much were they asking for you, the one that you...
$900.
And you found that on Craigslist, but it was, you said on Zillow for $2,200.
Right, but they were both registered under this man's name.
Okay. Well, what gives? So, that's a big difference.
Right, uh-huh.
What did it turn out to be?
Well, there's two different ones, Daniel A. Koski and Daniel A. Koski. But one of them is the fake one, and he's the one who's trying to rent it. He said that his family and he had just moved from...
How do you know it's a fake guy, Carol?
Well, after I figured it out, I called the real Mr. Dan Koski, and he said, I get these calls every other day of one just like this, that somebody's trying to rent my home.
But the guy knew enough to use the owner's name.
Yes, he did. Uh-huh.
That's pretty spectacular that someone went that far. So he used the owner's name, and how did you discover the second ad on Zillow?
Well, just because I typed in the address. You know how you type in the address to find it, and a Zillow ad came up for that house for rent. And
the Zillow ad is the real one?
The Zillow ad was the real ad, yes. But I wanted to call and let the real Mr. Koski know that this man was using his name and his house trying to rent it.
So what did Mr. Koski do about it?
Well, he didn't want to. He said, well, I get these all the time. He said he's tried calling Craigslist and they won't do anything. So he's just let it go on, I guess.
You can report it on Craigslist. They'll take it down. They'll investigate. They really do take them down.
So this guy gave me this real good sob story about that he's worked for a highway construction company in Pennsylvania and got married to his lovely wife, Glenda, who's a member of the Holy Family Cathedral Church. They'll be there for 12 or 13 years in Pennsylvania. So they were looking for a responsible tenant who was willing to take very good care of their house. And so...
well, it's a good thing you did it now. Are you calling just to warn others?
Basically, because I did look into it. He had all of these, he put himself out as just such a good, holy man. And, he'd say things like, live the life you love the life you have, laugh till the very end, God bless everyone.
God.
He had, everybody deserves a home, both the rich and the poor, thanks and God bless. He was very much into showing that he was a good, holy man. And,
yeah, and those are the biggest ripoffs usually, the ones that spout it all the time, because you should know them by their acts, right, and their fruit.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have to preach. So listen, I want people to know if they're renting a home, not just in University Hills, but anywhere, you have to do what Carol did. You have to check out. Now, even if the name checks out, you have to go further. It's almost becoming dangerous to rent a home. I don't even know what you do. I mean, there must be a way to verify that people have the authority to rent a home.
Well, you go over there and you meet them. I mean, you do your due diligence like anything.
She did meet him. And he had a fake name.
That's bizarre.
And the real guy, the only reason she found the real guy is because she was searching that home and found another listing. So people, be careful. There are a lot of rental scams out there. If you know of any scams to warn us about, warn us. If you have any problems like this, call us. And we can help most everyone if they get in touch with us soon. Not just with rental scams, but almost any scam. Let's talk to Mrs. Lang. Normally people don't want to give their last name, but Mrs. Lang. May I call you Mrs.? Okay, so what's going on?
I was just hoping that you might be able to give me a little advice on how to handle a situation involving the Colorado Springs Police Department.
What happened?
I had a very disturbing incident take place at a Costco where an employee had accidentally shown me a pornographic image on his phone.
Accidentally?
Yeah.
Tell me how that happened.
We were discussing whether my HP printer that I was returning came with a USB cord, which mine did not, but it was supposed to.
I see. And he was going to look it up online.
He was showing me a picture of, I guess, a box, I would assume. I don't know. It was hard to tell from the image because it just showed.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. So he was looking to see that you get a cord or not, and when he flashed his phone, you saw a pornographic photo?
Well, he was flipping through his photos, yes.
Okay, I got you. Okay, so what did you want done if this was a mistake?
Well, one, it was extremely embarrassing and very uncomfortable.
Of course it was. But he didn't do it on purpose to try to titillate you, right?
No.
Okay. Okay, hold on. You understand someone can have a pornographic photo on their phone and they're not breaking any laws unless it was a child.
And this is where the problem came in, and this is why I had the dilemma of should I call the police or not.
All right, what was the dilemma?
I felt that the female in the photo looked to be about the age of 14.
That could be a problem, okay.
But and that's probably why I was in so much shock and so disturbed by the situation. And I didn't even handle my return right. I went to my car, called my husband.
What did the guy say? What did the guy say when he's flipping through?
Nothing.
And what was it? A picture of a single person, or were there multiple?
Yes.
It was and it looked like a 14-year-old girl. And
I didn't get very long to look, but I could just say the female looked very small.
Did he say to you? Did he say anything to you?
No. I asked him to please get away from me, and I turned around and I asked for a manager, but I was so in shock I didn't even know how to handle it.
So you want to know if the Springs Police, did you call the Springs Police?
We decided we better because it was because of how I felt about what I saw.
So in other words, the way the call would go is, I suspect this man may have some pictures of kids.
No, I didn't put it that way.
What did you put?
I didn't even say that. I said it seemed like the female was underage. I don't know. I felt like a moral obligation.
So what did they do? Did they check it out?
Yeah, hold on. I want to hear the rest of the story. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
This report is sponsored by Wyndham Hotels and Resorts.
There's a couple of highway crashes to watch out for when you drive across town. Downtown, northbound I-20.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
I don't know.
Tony, Marco thought it was tomorrow instead of today. Asked if he'd come in tomorrow. We told him no, so he's getting dressed and is on his way.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, hopefully he doesn't do that when he does the show, you know?
He's dressed in the left lane, hauled back up to Emerson at this time. Hesitations there. And look out for wrecked off highway in the cleanup stages on the eastbound side of Evans at Monaco. The weather forecast mostly cloudy.
I think what we do is
thunderstorms today with a high
talk to him and then have him do an hour. I was
thinking.
thinking June 20th he could fill in, but
Traffic. Hey, 1508, Rockies 60.
More than 6,000 hotels across the country, including La Quinta, Days Inn, and Super 8. A great hotel by Wyndham is closer than you think. Find one near you and book direct at wyndhamhotels.com.
Rocky's Auto, 63rd and Federal, for used cars, trucks, SUVs, and vans. And right now, spring is here, and they're getting a bunch of new vehicles in all price ranges. Yeah, they do have all price ranges. It's getting increasingly difficult to get lower priced cars in good condition, but Rocky's manages to do it, and they have all makes and models. But here's the real deal. They have every price marked on there, so you know what to pay. And they don't play games with you. They have financing available. That's published as well. They give you all the information you need to make an informed decision. That's Rocky's 63rd and Federal. And they're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 7, Saturdays, 9 to 6. Family-friendly, kid-friendly, even pet-friendly. Check them out at rockysautos.com or visit. That's 63rd and Federal. 303-426-4646 if you have any specific questions. And remember, no matter what you see online, the inventory changes quickly. That's Rocky's 63rd and Federal.
Building relationships during recovery.
So, Tom, did you see the homeless in Hawaii, like Mark say, everywhere?
he was on Maui.
Oh,
No homeless whatsoever. Where were you?
Maui, they were all over the main, or what is it, Aloha?
Is that where Honolulu?
Yeah, the main around Honolulu.
Did you go to that island?
Mhm. Yeah, but we're on the North Shore. There's no.
I understand, but what? I've never been there. Is it pretty? Is it nice?
Oh, the North Side is beautiful.
But Honolulu, is it a giant city?
Huge.
It looks like maybe like a New York. It's not.
Looks
that
like
large.
fucking Denver, man. It's big. It's big.
Is it fun?
Yeah. The North Side's totally different, man, than Honolulu, though. Totally different. There's no hotels. Ours is the only resort on the entire North Shore. There's no other resorts.
And
It's
there are a
all
lot of
homeless.
homeless where?
Everywhere on the island. They live back like in the woods and shit, and right off the beach where there's public restroom buildings and shit.
I think it's under the underpasses.
Underpasses. Yeah, tents, man, like literally tent cities.
So I've done a lot of shows out there, and every time I do a show in a radio station, there's people sleeping in the station. Every single room has a bed in it.
Oh, wow.
$1 a month.
In Hawaii?
Had it been
Yeah.
slow, and like ESPN, all the stations out there. Everybody's living in it. You have equity in your
Just
home.
because of
You
price
can pay
of,
off any debt, not
rent
just
stuff.
credit cards.
Yeah.
And you can get it done in as few as 10
They
days.
finally passed, listen to this, they weren't allowed to tow abandoned vehicles.
It takes just 10 minutes.
You could abandon a vehicle on public property, and they weren't allowed to tow it. They just passed that as we were leaving, that they could get rid of abandoned vehicles.
Well, you know, that's 300.
Make sure the sound is not
It was
on.
basically like
a
that.
bunch of interest expense. So give
I'm
them a
playing.
call.
Because you could be living in your car in front of your house, and they can't do anything about it.
Yeah, I know, the one they're talking about here. That was the same type thing they had in Hawaii, but they just overpassed it because there started being those cars everywhere.
Well, here's some news.
And that vote is coming
I
out.
can show it to you. I'm Paula Stagen's
I almost wish they would do it
this house. My brother and I
so
have
they could
talked
see how
thousands of
bad.
Just an I told you so.
You mean the 300?
Now it's
Yeah.
your turn. This
That'd
week
be
we're
horrible.
conducting a
Fucking
free
people are
2-hour
Oh,
education
but they voted, it's the, what do you call it, counselors, not the counselors,
how to start living
commissioners.
Commissioners.
their time using
They're-
other
they
people's
voted,
money
what,
and
12 to
get started
1
putting money in your pocket
for
faster
the
than most by
injection
investing in
sites.
income properties. Real estate is a powerful tool that has made millions of people wealthy, but you can't start making your first
And
dollar
it's the right
until you
to
take your first
survive.
step. Come to my free workshop and take advantage of this amazing opportunity. It could mean a lifetime of financial security.
To get 2 free tickets to Paul's workshop, text your 5-digit zip code to 37,000. Seating is extremely limited, so text your 5-digit zip code to 37,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Paul's Money for Deals guide. Just text your zip code to 37,000.
No one, Commissioner 300.
A lot of what?
There's a lot of different websites that put no on Michigan. I'm sure, I really do think they need to get rid of the mayor, get rid of the commissioners. Ooh.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. You can get calls in right now if you have any problems, questions, complaints, or you just want to sound off. So Mrs. Lane calls and says, I'm in Costco. The guy's looking on his phone to get me some information on a product, accidentally flashes a photo, a pornographic photo, an image of what looks to be a 14-year-old girl. She says, get away from me. She goes to a manager. She's very upset. Now, even though the guy did not do it intentionally, and normally it wouldn't matter, right? It wouldn't matter at all. The only thing that matters is what it is. If it's a child photo, then he's got a problem. If it's not, weirdos can have pornographic images on their phones. So let's talk to her. She said she went to the police. So what happened after that? What are you calling about, in other words?
Well, it's the way the officer handled the situation. He seemed very dismissive. It was already a dilemma on whether I should call.
Yeah.
I just felt like, okay, I need to overcome this discomfort and just make the call and deal with it.
Right.
And I did. And he did investigate the situation. He was not able to observe the photos because they were deleted.
Oh, so this kid, when he saw that you saw, he probably deleted, but at least the officer went and investigated.
Yes, they did look into it.
Okay.
But after the fact, when the officer called me back, I felt attacked by the officer because he stated that I was calling this guy's work. I was calling Costco because I called Costco to complain about the situation because, one, my return wasn't handled correctly, and two, I wanted to report it to the corporate. So, yes, I called back because I didn't really talk to a manager that day. I just told her, look, this guy just showed me this image. That was it. But I wanted to make sure it was actually, reported properly. But I did not slander this guy. I don't even know his name. I did report it to their corporate office. I never used any derogatory language.
So anyway, what's the big deal then? You did everything right. So then what?
Well, the officer told me that he's more concerned about me slandering this guy.
Well,
and I couldn't believe
first of all, the officer was out of line saying that. The officer should just remain neutral. But in other words, it's done. I mean, what difference does it make what the officer says? The officer said something stupid.
Yeah, I know, but if this is how our public, safety officers treat people who are trying to do the right thing, then they're kind of alienating people who want to do the right thing from helping them.
I can see that, but he did not discourage you in the beginning. He just made a comment afterwards. In other words, he didn't prevent you from doing that. But I understand your point. I don't want to belabor it. I understand it. Colorado Springs Police, they shouldn't be making judgment calls. Maybe he was giving you advice because he thought you were going too far and saying, look, we checked it out. We can't find it. Maybe he was saying, for your protection, you better not keep going because he's already deleted them or we couldn't find any evidence.
What do you make of it? What happens if that happened to you? Would you have done the same? Would you have called
if I thought someone had child porn on their phone, I would report it. But I don't know if I could make that judgment. I don't know how long she looked at it or saw it. But, usually I overlook a lot of things, but not that. There's certain things I won't overlook cruelty. I won't overlook, child pornography. But if a guy's a weirdo, and we've often had this conversation. You see your friend out cheating on his wife. What do you do? What do you do? You know what I mean? What do you do? Now, it depends. If you see an acquaintance and you know that's not their wife and they're getting all hanky-panky at the bar or at a restaurant, what do you do? Let's say it's just someone that you know, but they're not really close. You mind your own business probably, right? You don't know what's going on. If you see a friend and you're friends with both of them, I'll tell you, that happened to me.
I tell Suzanne, and then I'd leave it up to her to tell the wife or whatever.
Here's what I did, because this happened to me. And by the way, you guys can call with any input on anything, or if you have a problem, question, or complaint. Don't forget, 303-713-TALK. And I still haven't talked about this trip I took and something that I believe to be a scourge, truly, and it's not the homeless. I saw this guy was cheating on his wife out and out, and I knew them both very well. Very well. It's like you and Suzanne, right? I know you both. If I saw you cheating, I'd do the same thing I did with him. I went to him and I said, okay, listen, man, it's obvious. Can you tell me something? Are you and your wife, do you have an understanding? Like, would she not care? Does she do the same thing? It's none of my business. Well, no, dude, I'm sorry,
How'd you catch him? I mean, you saw him with her?
Oh, yeah, it was obvious, right? And then, so I said to him, I'll tell you what. I know you both. I would do the same thing for you. You got a couple days, you got 2 days to tell her. Come up with a way and talk to her. Because if you don't, I will. But I think it would be better coming from you. And that's exactly what I did. I gave him a couple days.
And what did he do?
He didn't do it. And he came to me and said, I can't do it. In fact, I'd rather you do it. He said, because coming from you, you would know how to do it better than me. And I said, well, dude, if you want me to do it, I'll do it. But there's no way I'm going to keep it from her. Not if I'm, it doesn't matter if I'm good friends. I don't know.
So fast forward.
Would anyone do that?
Are they divorced?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Trina, what's happening with you, Trina?
Hi, Tom.
Hey.
It's moving season, and
Yes.
I'm trying to get a great idea of how to know how to trust a good mover.
Well, okay, let me just tell you the shortcut, referralist.com, but let me tell you the longer picture, because you may say, well, okay, I'll check those out. We have Amazing Moves, we have Cowboy, we have some others. Here's the deal about moving, okay? And I just called Amazing Moves about a move I'm doing. And here's the deal. Here's your biggest problem with moving. You don't know who you're talking to. Most of the time, if you're going on the internet, you don't have a mover. You have a broker. You in fact, almost never, ever talk directly to a mover. So that's the problem. These brokers don't give a damn about you. They don't care about you. They don't care about what you're doing. They will tell you anything, and then you get some scumbag mover. Now, most of the scumbags in moving, I don't know why, but they happen to be in South Florida. Okay? So almost always, if you, I hate to say this, but I'm just going to say it. If you get South Florida movers, there's probably a 95% chance you're going to get ripped off. And if you get a broker, there's a 95% chance you're going to get ripped off. So what I do is I do the reliable thing. You go to a reliable transport, like you go to North American, or you go to a certain name, whatever they are now, Atlas or Grable. You go to the carrier, and then you ask them for names of really reputable agents that they have. And then you find the reputable agents in that city. That's the way you do it. You don't just go to an agent, because they'll lie about being agents. So I would go to the main transport lines and find out who their local agents are that are well respected. Then I would call the local agent, and I would still check them out as well. But too many people get an estimated move and not a guaranteed not to exceed move. You see, it's easy to estimate. They don't care, because when they weigh it, that's what you get charged. But you can actually do, if it's interstate, from state to state, then what you do is you do a guaranteed not to exceed, and you might pay a little more sometimes, but most of the time you pay less. But it's a guarantee not to exceed. The other thing that people do that they bitch about is damages. They say, look, this was not damaged, this was not damaged, because during the inventory phase, what a lot of disreputable movers, unethical movers do, is they write down, like they say couch, and then they write down a whole bunch of damage that the couch has. Because here's their theory. No one is ever going to complain at the other end if the couch arrives in better condition than they wrote down. If they wrote down that they had loose legs and nicked and scratched all over and faded or stained cushions, and then you get it back in perfect condition, you're not going to say, wait a minute, buddy, I want to see the stains on my cushion. Most of the time you don't do that. So they write down a lot of damage, and then at the other end, if they do damage it, they're covered. If they don't damage it, you have nothing to complain about. So I would make sure that when they are picking it up and writing the inventory sheet, that you, unfortunately, on the big expensive stuff, have to note the damage that they're noting on their inventory sheet.
And if they do damage something and you don't buy the insurance, you might end up with 60 cents a pound.
Well, 60 cents a pound, but even the insurance is not that great. And some charge you for insurance, but don't buy the insurance. There are so many moving scams, but the biggest deal is this. You have to talk directly to the people doing the move, not to brokers, okay? So is this in-state or is this state-to-state?
It's in state.
Okay, then just go to my referral list and pick one. But okay. if you want to shop them, you have to get references and truly check the references and check their reviews and check their insurance certificates and you just have to make sure they're for real. So many movers are ripoffs. It's one, I would say, percentage-wise, roofing and moving have the most ripoffs in those industries. They do. They just have the most ripoffs, but that's what I would do. And then, you can't get you have to do time and material most of the time. Most of the time, and you just trust them. It's so much an hour per man per truck. So much per truck sometimes. But whatever it is, get it in writing. Make sure the inventory sheet is accurate. And then make sure you account for everyone before you sign. If you sign that inventory sheet at the other end, you are literally signing so that you have the stuff exactly in the condition that they say it is, and you have no complaints. So I say to the guys, take a seat, because if I have to go through this, you're going to have to wait. I don't want them coming up to me with a clipboard in the last 30 seconds saying, "Can you sign this? We got to leave." So it's good to watch. And the worst thing is when you don't have anyone when they're picking up and delivering. That's also when you're in trouble. We have to take this break. I encourage you to call. We have open lines at 303-713-TALK. No guest right now. We have a guest coming in a little later. 303-713-8255.
This is Denver's Talk.
So they vote tomorrow for the right to survive.
Oh, it is tomorrow? There's no way that's going to pass.
The Democratic Party of Denver is for it.
Doesn't matter. If you live in Denver, you don't want it to pass. If you're a homeowner in Denver.
You got to look up every Democratic.
What are the odds? Does it say odds or polling?
I haven't heard the polling on it. As far as for money, though, there's a lot more money you don't need for against it. But I haven't seen stuff on it.
I've seen ads on TV. People against it. The one that sticks with me is a woman that was homeless, and she goes, if the police officers didn't come up, me and my daughter would have never got off the streets and got our shit together.
Yep, Ben Franklin said it best.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't push it in.
Hotels across the country.
But he says the best way to help poor people is to make it uncomfortable to be poor.
A great hotel by Wyndham
No, that
is
is true.
closer than you think. Find one near
Yeah, that's
you.
actually very smart.
You can use that.
I'm going to use it. The best, let me remember what you said. The best way to help poor people is to make it really hard to be poor.
Right.
When do I have my
Make it
spot?
uncomfortable to be poor.
Make it uncomfortable.
I don't have a spot?
Choose from our solid hardwood.
I thought I had fixed it here.
Save big on
Best
total
way
picture replacement
to
with
help.
Durline synthetics.
You're right, I had to move it up out of the last break. I'm an idiot.
Where is it?
Here we go. I'll have it here in a minute.
For laminate
So you're going to keep.
And how about adding a gorgeous
No, he
Yes,
didn't say
sir.
it like
Thanks for reminding me.
I'm going to see what he said.
luxurious
25 away.
You don't believe me?
and you now save thousands.
Ben Franklin, my hero.
All new
He was the best of the founding fathers.
He flew kites.
You can
He
book
loved
your
kites.
flight now
Ben Franklin.
and enjoy it for many, many years to come.
course.
Kitchen batteries, counters and floors, and even replace for the windows and doors, you have our word.
You know what? A lot of the times these liberal policies, people just best way of doing it. Okay, guys, guys, easy and proper.
Let's talk about a whole house surge protector. We're coming up on lightning and thunder season and all of that, and this is something you need to know. A whole house surge protector from Fix It 24/7. Fix It does plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains, and this is for your electrical system. The most important thing, it extends the life of all of your electronic appliances, your electrical appliances like refrigerators, anything with a motor, and it protects your electronics. A whole house surge protector, just $149. Fix It 24/7, 720-526-3939.
If you missed rates being
Sorry,
this low before.
Did he ask for that one?
I gotta run. Yeah, he did.
It will help you to qualify for your result.
You know, another thing.
Why is it funny? Because I did that for Bob last week.
Affordable
Exactly.
720-895-0500.
So another, sure, if you want to read a good book, it's really tough to read because Ben Franklin had a lot of things. You know what he said about the values of going out with older women?
Pay off debt, do some home
They
improvement.
die first?
Huh?
They die first.
They don't tell, they don't tell, they don't swell, and they're grateful as hell.
What does swell mean? They don't get fat?
Pregnant.
Oh, that is good. Those are
But
words to live
Now,
by.
he didn't say that, I mean, the way he wrote it, that's just, you know, like, just like.
In other words, he didn't say that.
No, he
That
said
is
it.
your
No, he said it, but
It's not verbatim.
how they wrote it back then was so different.
Day has come and gone. Did you file an extension?
That is so funny.
To the IRS?
No, I mean, the way he does, I mean, just like that, you know, is the best way to help.
I'll tell you the best quotes out there. The best.
Copy this number down
I'll
right
give you,
now.
I'm going to quote him one. I bet you know who it is.
Who is it?
Ready?
10,000, 50,000,
I'm giving someone directions to my house. When you come to the fork in the road,
I know there's a
take
team
it.
of experts, and I have
Yogi Bear.
Yogi
just
Bear.
like you, Carson helps stop demand letters.
Yeah, no, he's.
And they prevent property seizures.
And they were all real too. I mean, they were yogis. When you come to the fork in the road, take it. Now, behind the scenes, all that meant was, no matter which way you went, it brought them to the house. So in a lot of ways, it made perfect sense.
Well, I think for his, I thought he said, yeah, he's got a lot of those where they're just like.
LARSON tax or LarsonTaxRelief.com.
Attention.
Black Lives
Bob
Matter.
got 27 appointments, 30 calls, 27 appointments for that. That's special. It's a fucking good special.
What, the 149?
The 149 surge. It blew up, man. He couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Bob texted me that night.
Inventory not available to the public. So if you want to become a real estate
What was it, 149? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
149?
landlord, then text
It is, for $149, you're crazy not to have one in your house.
tax lien flip kit.
You should call and get them to put one in your new house. It doesn't have one.
The other thing I think is a leak alarm, or, of course, you can just buy them and put them in.
You mean
Water alarm, leak alarm.
Humidity. I have them, my insurance company, Safeco, sent me 2 of them, which is smart as shit.
Holy
So
cow.
I've got one down in the,
Is it a detector and turns off the main water?
no, it does not turn the main water
Does
on.
it go to your cell phone?
It alerts me on my cell phone.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That would be cool. Those are only a couple $100 to lock the water.
Yeah.
Those are cool.
Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. If you have a problem, like, for example, Les, he has a problem, you know, that's what we do. We solve problems. So, I just want to say that I felt like I was at a carnival, walking down an aisle in a carnival with people barking timeshares when I was on vacation. It's getting to be ridiculous. First of all, anything they say is free. Anything. You know, free this, free scuba, free hang gliding, free this, free. It's only to get you to a timeshare. And I'm telling you, it's a scourge. They're all over the place. And the hotels you're staying at, they're encouraging it because they're selling their timeshares. You know, when I can't believe people still fall for it. $40,000 and $50,000 for a week. And then the week isn't really a week, it's points. and those points diminish over time. And then they tell you it's an investment. They're liars. They're lying thieves. I don't care who they are. If you're selling a timeshare as an investment, you're a lying thief. It's not only an investment, it is financial herpes. It's the worst thing you can ever do. And I would love anyone to tell me differently, because even if you say you use it, I can show you can get a better deal keeping that cash somewhere else and just buying a hotel room, going to Expedia or Orbitz or whatever. Why would you ever subject yourself to never-ending maintenance fees? And then on top of that, even if you want to give it away, you are held responsible. The first buyer is held in due recourse, meaning no matter how many times it gets sent down the line, you, by your original contract, remain liable unless you get released from it. And the only way to get released from it is spending money with an attorney. So you spend all this money to get it, then all this money to get out of it. I just can't believe it. I mean, it's just unbelievable to me. And how do these people even sell it with a straight face? Ah, Jesus, it just bothers me. Les, what's happening with you, Les?
Hey, Tom, how's it going?
Good. What's going on with you?
Well, the district attorney in Colorado Springs has my truck.
How?
All my work tools in it. Well, they had a search warrant for the house I was living in.
Uh-huh.
It seems like my best friend of 10 years decided he was going to...
Your best friend was in trouble?
Yeah, he actually, I think he got charged with murder.
Oh my God!
And they thought my truck was involved because there was a black truck involved.
Yes.
And I was living with him, and the black truck was there, but it was my truck, not.
No, I understand.
Involved. Right. And they've cleared my truck. They've cleared me, but they still won't give me my truck back. And this happened last Thanksgiving.
Now in Denver, the policy is that they own the truck. It doesn't matter. And I don't even want to get into that because it just pisses me off so much. I don't even like talking about it. But I'm wondering if it's the same thing. But in Denver, okay, let me just, this kid, well, listen, I want to just tell you, if you let your uncle borrow your truck and he's going to the convenience store, right, and he's wanted on a crime, and they stop him in your truck, and clearly, it's just your truck, and then your grandfather or your uncle who is wanted on a crime is arrested, they take the truck and own it forever. But here's what's worse. Wow. Here's something that's worse, and this is the God's honest truth. There was this Hispanic guy, you know, and a Mexican guy, and he's driving his truck down the street, and then he stopped on suspicion of this crime. It turns out that he didn't do it. It wasn't him. They arrested the real guy. Now listen carefully. They arrested the real guy. This Mexican kid who owned this truck, who was picked up by mistake, was released, but they kept his truck forever. Denver says that if your truck is involved in any kind of a criminal investigation, whether guilty or innocent, they own it. I swear to God, I know people don't believe this, but wherever you're listening, it doesn't matter if it's a mistake. They own the truck, they get to sell it, and the lender doesn't even have a right to get it. It is the most asinine thing I have ever heard. It's the most unconstitutional thing I have ever heard, yet no one has ever taken it to the Supreme Court. Now, in Colorado Springs, if your uncle was at the house, or your brother, or your best friend, or whoever it is, if he's charged with a crime and they suspect your truck, even if they cleared your truck, they may use the nuisance laws to own it. But what I'm asking you, are they saying they're going to own it, or are they saying it just is taking a while to release it? What are they actually saying?
I talked to her, the district attorney down here. I talked to her, and she says that technically by law, she can keep the truck for as long as the case goes on.
That's true.
The sentence.
That's true.
The sentence. And if he gets a life sentence, then, well, that's, you know.
No. No, I don't think they mean during his sentence. I think
that's exactly what she told me. Yep.
But didn't you say you were it was cleared, the truck? How was the truck cleared exactly?
Well, I mean, they when they first got it, of course, they tore it apart. They, you know, checked everything.
How was it cleared? How was it cleared?
Well, as far as anything in writing, I haven't seen anything in writing, but the detectives told me it was cleared. The district attorney.
I think what they mean by cleared, they're not saying it wasn't used. They're just saying they don't have any forensics on it. That's probably what they're saying.
Yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, they said it was clean. In other words,
Right,
they
but
found nothing in it.
that doesn't mean it wasn't part of the investigation. So here's the problem. They probably want it as evidence. It's being held as evidence, right?
Right. She told me that if they could find the real truck, that she might not have an issue with letting it go.
Well, here's the thing. In Denver, if they found the real truck, they'd still keep the other one. They would.
That's crazy.
Oh,
That's crazy, Tom.
It is so crazy that I can't believe it. That's how crazy it is. But it's true. Denver has the most ridiculous, they call them nuisance laws. It's the most ridiculous laws ever. And I'm telling you, it can be a total mistake. We had one guy, listen to this. He was in his truck, right? He went in to buy liquor. Okay? Liquor in a liquor store. His friend was in the truck waiting for him. The friend in the truck, a policewoman walked up and she was playing a prostitute. She walks up and arrests him for soliciting her. It was a sting operation. He was cleared of his charge. In other words, he did not plead. They dropped the charges. So this guy that was sitting in the truck, they dropped the charges. This poor guy that went in to get liquor came back out to his truck. His truck was impounded. He never got it back. They kept his truck forever, and they sold it. And it wasn't even, his friend wasn't even convicted. Now, if anyone's listening to this and they don't believe it, all you have to do is investigate, because it is almost unbelievable. Now, with you, I don't know if they have the same laws. I mean, we could ask, but Les,
I'm not sure.
Do you owe on this truck?
No, it's paid for. And actually, I bought it from the guy that got arrested.
Oh, see, man, this is really... How long ago did you buy it from him?
It was about last summer.
And when was the crime committed, allegedly?
Thanksgiving.
After you bought it?
Right.
How do you know your truck wasn't used? Well, I mean,
I didn't use it, and as far as I know...
But you were living with him at the time he supposedly committed this crime?
That's correct. But, I mean, I think I know what black truck that he did use, but...
Why don't you tell them?
Right after the crime. Well, I have, but they can't find it. So...
And he's got to prove, well, in Denver, I don't know how Colorado Springs is, but in Denver, I'm reading about it, he would actually have to prove to the police that he went out of his way to make sure this guy never used that vehicle. You almost have to prove to him that you didn't know anything about it.
But, Mark, if you look it up, even if the ultimate charge is dropped or the person's found not guilty, they can still keep the truck.
That's just unbelievable.
It is so unbelievable. Well, let's see if we can get our defense attorney on to talk about this. Hold on, or we'll talk to... we have an attorney coming in, but let's see if we can get Joe Lazzara to address this. Les, I wish I had better news than you, but when your truck or your car... By the way, just so you know, in Denver, it's not just a truck or a car. Let me put it to you this way. I use my helicopter for charity rides, okay? Let's say that I did a charity ride. They bid them at silence auctions and stuff for charities. Let's say I did a charity ride, and there was a known felon that got in my helicopter, and they found out where he was, and they came to Centennial Airport and caught him as I was landing. And I had no idea, let's say. I just took he came along with a woman who bid on it at a charity auction. And they arrested him. They could theoretically confiscate and own that helicopter forever, even if I had nothing to do with it, because he was in it. I'm telling you, it is so, and it's also houses, anything.
It's any real property.
Any property. It's sad. And you look it up, you're going to find that it's the most impossible law you've ever heard of. We have more coming right up.
This report is sponsored by Wyndham Hotels and Resorts.
Now, this one's a little different, though, because this guy owned the truck and sold it to him. The whole thing seems a little shaky. It could have been used in a crime.
You know what, Mark? We really need to challenge this. This is weird. I mean, how jacked up is that? How can they ever justify it? What I'm talking about, Mark,
in cases where the guy that was picked up was mistaken identity. He was fucking mistaken, and he lost his truck.
A high of 66. Right now, partly
You
cloudy.
know, who's that lawyer that's up in Boulder that takes cases like this? He did the
With more
Balloon
than
Boy.
6,000 hotels across the country, including La
You know him, that
Super
one
8,
lawyer and stuff.
a great hotel
He does
by
all these
Wyndham is
high-profile
closer than you
cases.
think. Find one near you and book direct at wyndhamhotels.com.
See, it doesn't even say.
Okay, here's a true story right now. Listen to this. Tomorrow at a home, let's just put it this way, I'm hiring crackerjack mudjacking to do a job. You know, my referral list I use every day, and crackerjack mudjacking, in business 20 years, 60,000 jobs complete. They came out and gave me a bid. It's going to be done for $1,500, but my closest bid was $12,000 to fix it. But they're doing it for $1,500. Crackerjack mudjacking for all concrete repair. Call them first, free estimates. 303-410-7787, 410-7787.
There's nothing like meeting face to face, and there's nothing
God, I
like
love
Zoom
having that
to
list
make
line.
that happen.
When I
Zoom
meet
lets you
people,
connect and do
holy shit,
business
it's
across town or around the world.
I must say, I was so impressed by Steve the painter. He touched up.
He is a meticulous guy.
It was him and his wife actually did it. We were gone out of town. They came into the house. They touched up in at least 7 areas. They matched all the paint perfectly. They even matched the ceiling. I have never seen someone do a ceiling that worked.
A token and toner of our
Lane.
appreciation.
It's customer
What's his name?
Okay, I want to see
David Lane.
I don't see any interference here.
David Lane's a good guy.
No, he's the one that should take that on.
He was a court for Gore. Or no,
But he was doing
David Lane did Gore in the 2000 election, right? He argued in front of
David
the
Lane
Supreme
is a constitutional lawyer.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, wouldn't that be a good for him to take?
You don't have a website.
I mean, he also took the Balloon Boy for a
I have
while.
a website, but it's not generating leads.
What about
Based
the
on what?
Well, remember he was getting sued, the Balloon Boy, the Balloon guy, you know,
Getting sued for what?
for false reporting.
Oh, because he knew the kid was not in there.
Yeah.
Although I thought ultimately he claimed that he thought the kid
Lane
was.
only takes constitutional cases.
No, but he took that for a while, and then they ended up dropping.
I want to see this interference.
That's getfoundfast.com. Do it today before
Ugh.
your competitors get
I don't see
further
any
ahead.
interference.
This is not your typical gun show. Learn through the history
Personal
of firearms.
Oh, don't forget, Tom. Don't forget the thing is tonight. Make sure he does lives for Centeno. You got to tell him it's tonight. We need a few more people.
At the Denver Mark.
Tired of being told what to do by
It's right in the text
Want to
center.
take next week off?
Yep,
How about
he
next
took the
month?
Balloon Boy for a while.
Online Trading Academy can help. Hi, this is Dave Logan. Take
God,
control of
actually,
your
this guy just emailed David. He emails all the
Where's
time.
the interference, for God's sakes?
This says the Supreme Court.
There's no interference.
Free half-day class this week. Call
They-
Online Trading
I
Academy.
mean,
The
they're
only
even highlighting it, and I don't see it.
indoors. At 303.
What horse got interfered with?
0267.
Oh, you
yeah,
can see it.
no,
No,
no.
he came out of the lane big
Yeah,
time.
where is it? Which one?
You'll see him come around the back.
Actually, he bumped 2 of them, I think.
There's no. Here's the deal. If that was a normal race, it would have been a Stewart's inquiry exactly like this. You can't treat it any different.
Hey man, 15 away from a Simply Floors 30.
Hey, they're coming out to do ours.
Shop I know and trust, and you can too. 303-455-7242. That's 303-455-7242.
Simply Floors Inc. They're coming to my house on Friday. You see, I'm not kidding. And I'm a regular customer. I went online and scheduled it with Amy, just like anyone would. And they came out to the house. In one of the rooms, Amy said, you don't even have to replace this. It just needs to be stretched. Honest to God. And they said, we'll come out and stretch it for you. And then in the other room, we just wanted to replace, right? Simply Floors Inc. I believe in them. I use them. I went to Simply Floors Inc. to make my own appointment. You can too. SimplyFloorsInc.com.
Home loans for your
Actually, the Supremes did just rule on this. They
On the nuisance?
Yeah.
They didn't uphold it, did they?
don't fuck. No, they're saying basically they have limited the police powers to seize private property. Let me see when this was. Oh, this was just, man. This was February 20th of 19.
IdealHomeLoans.com. Equal opportunity lender regulated by DORA. NMLS 136.
Yeah, it says the 8th Amendment basically bars excessive fines.
Ideal.
And they have limited the ability of the federal government to seize property, and it applies to the states as well.
Okay, so that's state and federal.
Yeah, this one guy, he sold heroin to an undercover police officer. They took his $42,000 Land Rover, which he bought with proceeds from his dad's life insurance, and they basically said, fuck you, you can't take his car. So he got his car back.
See, I could even see him taking that where he's actually convicted.
I don't think he had the drugs in the vehicle. I know what you're saying.
I can see if they buy shit with drug money, take the fucking shit.
Yeah, but they're saying he bought this with his dad's life insurance money.
303-690-0100. 303-690.
And he only sold $225 worth of heroin. He wasn't a drug dealer, I guess. I don't know. He didn't even go to jail. He got sentenced to 1 year of in-house and 5 years of
But
probation.
Denver took his stuff?
This wasn't Denver. Well, actually, I don't know who it was. And then something with the 14th Amendment.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay. So the poor guy lost his truck just because a black truck was reported. He lives with the guy who sold him that black truck. I mean, it's really getting to be ridiculous, property seizures. You know, I love police, I really do, and law enforcement and the justice system. Let's face it, we'd have anarchy without it. And I believe most of them have the public good in mind. I mean, they do a thankless job most of the time. But the property seizure laws, they're going too far. And I think there's some financial incentive for sheriff's departments and police departments to seize property. There was even a Supreme Court ruling in February about this because it was getting so out of hand.
Yeah, this guy, he got convicted of selling $225 worth of heroin to an undercover cop. They took his Land Rover, but the Land Rover, he proved, was purchased with money from when his dad died. So the Supremes, in a 9-0 decision, said they can't do that. They can't simply take all your stuff.
Well, that's good, because now that has to be applied to Denver. Because
it says that goes to the states as well.
Here's the thing, though. In Denver, it doesn't even have to be a guilty plea. It can be they stopped you by mistake. They find out, oh, no, it wasn't you. We found the real guy. And you still lose. That's the crazy part. Now, Skylar, we haven't forgotten about you, man, but we didn't have enough time to finish it. Can you hang on? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, and also, Barb, if you can hang on, we'll come to you right after the break. I'm Tom Martino. We have a lot to talk about, and you can get right through at 303-713-TALK. That's 303-713-8255.
Yeah, push it really hard. I'm going to tell you what hotel, too. I think I got quite a few sign-ups last week, but I don't know. Remember, they have an ultrasound there. If you have MRIs, you can bring them tonight, and the doctors will look at them, Centeno. I mean, these guys do go out of their way at those seminars.
There's a live 1206.
Perfect.
Where?
For Centeno? For Centeno. Is there one in the 11th?
I'd rather have them in.
488-8604.
No, there was a canned one I did to start the show.
Okay.
Missed rates being this low before. Now
my headline says Excel Roofing, bro.
Fight for your new home or lower your
in the second hour. It says I'm just going by your sheet here.
You're in my
2001.
What's that?
You're taking advantage of it.
Hang on, I'm looking what I got.
Mine's a little.
Without extending their term.
Oh, you got it. You have to put it backwards and then roll it.
No.
Look, I'll switch it if you want, but I'm just going by what you have here. I'll do whatever you want.
Oh, no, that's accurate for the next hour. I said 1206 for Centeno.
Gotcha.
Interest mortgage.
It sounds like
895-0500. Have you applied for a loan lately?
I'm going to bring it up in content too, man.
No one listening, just talking.
Good. Let's
Take
see.
aim. Affordable.
Can you do this?
720
Watch this. Watch my other hand. Watch.
We will listen.
I am like 30% NyQuil right now. Doing what I can.
So you're more on top of it than usual, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Radio station Ross Kaminsky Morning.
60% of the time, it works every time.
Watch this, though. Yeah, this is no bullshit. Watch.
Yeah, I showed you that. Quit using my stuff. I got that patent.
Did I tell you the time I was in New Orleans and this guy pulled a shoe joke on me? Guess who we almost got on the shoe joke? You won't believe it. You won't believe it. All the way up until lunch was brought up. It was hook, line, and sinker. Grant. Oh, you know who I got Thursday on it in the elevator? You ready? Tim. I got Tim. Big Tim. I nailed him. I said, Tom told me that.
Thought of you during the Kentucky Derby.
Poor Suzanne, she picked that horse. We bet 30 across on it.
Yeah.
We were happy as hell. It was probably going to be about $350 we win.
How did she pick that horse?
Yeah,
What, 4.5 to 1.
it was 4.5 to 1. We bet $30, and we bet to win, play, show. And the second place was a 65 to 1. So second and third place probably would have paid maybe 2 to 1. I calculated we probably get about 300, 350 on that ticket.
But I thought about the episode, The Subway. His father was a mutter. His mother was a mutter. It's a lock, Jerry.
Ask Suzanne if I talked about the mutter.
That's great.
I said, yeah, he might have never won before, but it's raining out. It's a mud race, and we don't know if his mother was a mutter or if his father was a mutter.
Where is this from? Seinfeld.
Present the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
And it was a mother.
Remember the guy was following him, and the cop saved him.
Sorry, I thought Dentonelli would be here by now.
His mother was a mutter.
No, the cop was who? Remember who the cop was?
It's like somebody tried
What do you
to
mean,
clean it.
Like
Who was the
Look
undercover
at
cop?
this, just look at this.
the
Fingerprints.
blind guy.
No, I know.
With the
But I
cup.
cleaned the hell out of it, so it is clean.
Well,
It was funny, though.
I
Craig
can
was
only see
trying
the
to
clean
run away
spots.
from him.
Everything else is dirty.
Only in New York
That's what I
City would
see.
you have to, like,
Stephanie
you know,
said
Run through the cars.
run
So
through
relaxed.
everywhere with some mugger chasing
So
you.
beautiful. And she said it was just
I wouldn't ride on those
magical.
subways.
Oh,
There's
As long as she
New
gets
York
the right
people,
votes, so she cares.
they navigate with the subways. They brag about that all the time. Yeah, I can-
Those are the real local people. I watched Seinfeld last night, man. I'm trying to think. I woke up like at 3 o'clock and turned it on and watched.
I'll tell you about it.
God, it was a funny one too, man.
No, the worst commercial ever.
You know, I was halfway
They're all
asleep.
funny.
Yeah, but it was a good one that I forgot
Even the
about.
ones I think, that's not good. They always got funny things.
If you
in it.
watch them again.
They help whip up a customized insurance
Who are you talking
solution
about?
that keeps
Just
mine
Seinfeld. I can't.
I've never, there's not one I haven't seen that I dislike. I never disliked
He doesn't
them.
like the backwards episode.
I
Yeah,
have
I don't-
never, I don't.
What about the look? You seen the backwards one? I
Which
don't
one
like
is that?
Well, they're in India.
I like because it
What
goes
is it?
back
What
to the
happened
snowball.
in India?
The guy, her friend was going to get married, and
Yes.
they broke it up because she found out Elaine had slept with him.
Slept with the husband or the.
You know what? I
Fiancé.
did see that one. I can't recall
It's backwards though.
It starts off though. Well, it ends up. Remember, Newman throws a snowball.
Dr. Kelly, I don't know.
Closer than you think. Find one near you and book direct. At Wyndham
Oh, Dr.
Hotels.
Kelly, pull up the stuff.
I don't
Or
know.
just bring Suzanne in.
Oh, I got a great trivia.
Mark, I need help. I don't have it.
Let me get it.
I don't.
Hey, babe, can you get him that Dr. Kelly info you
No
got me
one-
last
no.
week?
It needs to be in digital form. I don't have anything.
I'm just talking for today, though.
15 away, XL.
She'll give you highlights.
I got a trivia. I don't think Frank will.
What?
What's Newman's first name?
Go. Excel Roofing is the best company I know as far as how it's run by Jay Brett. They do everything right. What more can I say? Excel Roofing for your roofing. Excel Roofing for your gutters. Excel Roofing for your repairs. Excel Roofing for your attic fans. 303-761-6400. Here's what I mean. They don't penalize you if you decide not to go with them. They don't try to get you to sign up right then. They want you to be comfortable. They give you complete and full written estimates, and they don't have any penalties. They don't collect a penny until the job is completely done and you're 100% satisfied. That is crazy when it comes to roofing, but they broke the mold. Excel Roofing. That's why I say Jay Bretts runs the best company with the best practices that I know, bar any companies at all. But Excel Roofing, for your roofing, you'll never go wrong. ExcelRoofing.com, 303-761-6400.
Hi, my name's Christina Stumble, and I have
That's funny because that's where I got it from.
Where?
I watched that last night.
unlimited 2%
So
She yells Norman.
Yep, because she didn't know. That's funny though.
That's,
Because technically it's like,
well, but how does,
Newman!
but how do you know that she mistook it for Newman because nowhere else is?
Someone must have asked her.
You know, they really, by
I
the
do
way,
remember that.
they really, by the way, do a commentary that's very intelligent. If you look at their overall themes, their shows, they did one that was an amazing commentary. And if you really think about it, it's the thing I brought up with the basketball coach, the owner. The basketball owner who expressed private thoughts in his own place, and for that he, was penalized. But here's the deal. They had a discussion about abortion, and when they found, and then they were so divided that once they found out
She couldn't even date anybody.
or they could not date, but then the restaurant owner said, how can you kill a baby?
Right.
And then she wouldn't go to that restaurant. And the point was, she loved the man before that. So if you probe enough, you're going to find something you disagree with. And so what does that mean? That you know
Go.
Hi, Tom Argino here, and we have a lot to talk about. Solving problems, answering questions, and taking complaints. It's really the only place in radio you're going to find this kind of information, where we talk about the everyday aches and pains, the things that tick you off, the things that make you tick. I talked a little bit about timeshare being a scourge, like carnival barkers when you're on vacation. I don't know if you've come across this, but I don't know anyone who bought a timeshare that's happy about it. No one. No one. Even the ones who say they're happy, they're lying to themselves. And I can show them mathematically where it'll never work. Anyway, we also have Skylar, who put a deposit on an apartment we'll talk to. And then Barb Shue with Angel's Help that wants to talk about helping a client. We send her on almost impossible missions, but you can call her for any kind of help you need with elderly or people with disabilities. She helps coordinates. She helps to coordinate and find help. So, Barb, let's go to you first. Barb, are you giving us an update on someone from the show?
No, this is someone that I've been helping for quite a few years. This young lady lost her husband in November. They had a savings. He did really good about making sure that she was going to be set up perfectly. He had his will done, everything set. It should have been a no-brainer, just switch things over and everything would be fine.
What happened?
We went in December to talk to her financial advisor. He advised her to take $16,000 out of a personal IRA account to cover her bills until they got things straightened out.
How old is she?
She just turned 69.
Okay.
Okay, so she did as they suggested. No one told her that 16 had to be put back in 60 days or it couldn't be put back at all.
Well,
they also
but
they sent her November and December's payments, and then they reversed those payments, even though he didn't pass until it was the second day of November. So she should have.
Barb, let me get this straight. First of all, I think you're complaining because you're saying they ill-advised her to take money out of her IRA.
Oh, I've got a whole lot more, Tom.
No, I understand that, but hold on. I can't go one after another. I just have to really find out. This $16,000 withdrawal from an IRA.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't tell her to put it back, but what? There's nothing wrong with taking a disbursement at her age. I mean, she's not penalized by it.
Correct, but they advised her to do that.
Okay, I'm not saying that's all together. Here's what I'm saying. We might have disagreements on how to do it, and I may not have advised that. But I guess what I'm saying is I don't think we can call that malpractice.
Okay.
So go to the net. I'm trying to find some egregious stuff here, and I'm not trying to discount what you're saying either. I can see where you'd be upset about that, but I'm saying that's not that serious. What else did they do?
All right, so even though the will stated that all of his savings and the retirement accounts and 401k, everything was supposed to transfer to a marital trust that my client was in charge of until she passes, and then it passes to his children. They received no money again, they took back November and December. Then they received no money, January, February, and then in March, when she finally gets her disbursement, they took out the wrong amount of taxes. They've sent her tons of information with the wrong name on it to the wrong email address. They cannot get anything right, Tom. It's so frustrating.
Well, who is they, first of all? Who is they?
TIAA Crest.
Who are they?
They started as a retirement fund for teachers.
No, what I'm saying is they're dispersing and they're giving her advice, but she doesn't have to take their advice. Why didn't she just get representation of her own?
Well, she has an attorney, and that attorney was advised as well that she should take this 16, which she did. But all of it together, Tom, I guess what I'm looking at is the astronomical errors.
The incompetence is what you're talking about.
Yes.
You're calling because you're pissed off that a client of yours you're trying to help has been really screwed up. But did she actually lose any? Did they steal from her?
Well, she's had to pay extra in interest to pay off credit cards. Her credit rating has gone into the toilet because everything's either late or being paid by credit.
But why doesn't the money that was in her trust? It's still there, right?
Yes, and they're dispersing it incorrectly.
But she can take control of the whole trust. She can give it to another trustee altogether. She doesn't have to use them. There's nothing that binds her. What's that?
She could move it, right?
Of course she can. You don't have to keep a trust with a certain trustee if you don't like them.
Right.
So what she should do, and when you said she paid an incorrect amount of taxes, she'll get that back. I mean, if the taxes were not due and they were paid, she gets a refund.
But they were incorrect on the other side. They didn't pay enough, which means she's going to end up paying more at the end of the year.
You mean because of penalties?
Oh, I'm sure.
Barb, here's what we have to do, because this is very complicated. It all boils down to this. You're saying that the people who were in charge of her trust, who had a fiduciary responsibility to her and the deceased, screwed up so much that it cost her extra money.
Yes.
That's it in a sentence, right?
Yep.
Now what we have to do is we have to find specifically things they did that other people in their business would say, we would never do that. Okay? In other words, we have to find those specifics because you need to complain to the people that regulate them. And if you're thinking about a lawsuit, unless she has $100,000 or more of loss as a result of this incompetence, the best thing to do is to try to get another trustee immediately appointed and then go after their insurance, their errors and omissions insurance. But we're really happy to help, Barb, because, Barb, you help a lot of others as well. So let's do that one thing at a time. Okay? Really, I'm not trying to push it off. I'm telling you the direction we should go. Suzanne, just tell her again how to send that to us. I think she knows. She works with us on a lot of cases, but we need truly to get that trust into someone else's hands. And David Salisbury might be able to help there, our wills and estate attorney. Eric, what's going on with you?
Hey, thanks, Tom, for taking my call. One thing, I had a timeshare I inherited or was given to me by my parents.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Did you take it on?
Well, no, I didn't. But
okay, because you're not required to take it on. So that's right. and that's one thing I want to make clear. If you inherit it in an estate, you should reject it. You don't have to take it, and you don't have to pay it.
Okay, but then I just called up the timeshare company, a national company, and I said, listen, I really want to get rid of this. I don't want to inherit it. It's in my parents' name. And they had a in-house transfer process that, just some nominal fees, but I didn't have to go through an attorney, a legal company to get it released. So I just wanted to say...
Wait a minute. So hold on. You called the developer, and they voluntarily transferred it from your parents to who?
Well, they took it. They took it back.
Good. And you didn't have to pay a lot of fees.
No. No, and that was one I actually had title to it. It wasn't a points. It was actually a title vested week.
Yes.
And so I gave them a deed for it. They gave me an agreement, a release agreement, and
good.
And it just, I was looking at using some of these timeshare exit companies, but
well, first of all, remember this: you never had to use. Yeah, they are 5 to 10,000 actually, depending on how much. But keep this in mind too, Eric. If you inherit a timeshare, you didn't have to do anything. You didn't even have to do what you did. But it's good that you did. You could have just left it and walked away from it. No one can force you to take on an obligation.
Right. Well, my parents are still alive, and it would have went back to that. It wasn't through a death. It was just, my parents said, "Oh, here's a timeshare."
I get what. Okay, sir.
And I'm like, so. But I'm just saying that's an option that
is
really
an
well
option.
for us.
In fact, let me tell you, Eric, you bring up a good point. Do you know? Listen to this, Mark. Do you know now within some of the timeshare companies, they have a division for people to get out of it? In other words, they are profiting on both ends. They sell it, and then they profit when you want to get out and resell it. They don't pay you for it. They make you pay to get out of it. But they're actually going in to the timeshare exit business. They're actually the developers themselves. And in fact, there are some unscrupulous timeshare exit people. Now, I'm not talking about the people we know, okay? But let's call them timeshare dissolution companies or timeshare transfer companies that have deals with the developers. And they have pre-made deals. In other words, hey, why don't we work together? Look, you get to sell it again. We get to make money getting the people out. Let's say we take clients to you. How much will it cost on average? And they'll say, let's say $8,000. So then these guys charge $12,000. They make $4,000. The the timeshare company gets $8,000, and they all get happy. So they are actually in together. So the whole thing is it's just incestuous. It's terrible. It's the most terrible investment you could ever make. 303s. No. A mobile home is one too. A mobile home would be the next one. The thing with a mobile home, though, if you truly do live in it for many, many years, you do have shelter. You really can use it. We have more coming right up.
This report is sponsored by Wyndham Hotels and Resorts.
A couple of crashes clogging up the highway drive.
It's one of the biggest. This commercial is one of the biggest.
And here's another thing. He doesn't have to turn over anything.
Who does?
Bar.
Attorney General. I don't have much more than you do. I do know on the side she does Botox over there and some other stuff, but you said you can't talk about that because of Revitalize.
You're talking about
Dr. Kelly.
She sent you an email with bullet points.
There's no bullet points really. But I don't know if it helps, but I'm getting my new teeth on Tuesday. So I don't want to talk about that or.
I really want to talk about you doing it because we're trading it. That's the whole idea.
With more than 6,000 hotels across
That's fine.
Okay,
Talk about it.
okay.
But if you're gonna bring me on, I don't know what to say. So
Listen,
I feel like I sound stupid when I put on the spot.
I'm going to talk about things that are normal that you do know. Trust me.
Okay, I will say this: her staff over there, they are the best.
Okay, so
they are so kind.
Long, idea long.
There's no better way to repair your credit and get back on the road. Getting started is
weren't you going to do a live with timeshare? Or you should have done a live with timeshare there.
We're doing it.
Oh, when I was in Mexico, there was a big story.
Ideal home loans for your next ideal home loan. Let me count the ways. Credit optimization. I can't stress that enough. You get approved for a loan and you might think, hunky-dory, I'm approved. We got it. But what Ideal does is goes a step further. They say, hey, correct this address, or you may have to pay down this one card, or you may have to close this one account. They know what the algorithm says and what they can do to get you more points on your credit score, which gets you lower pricing. So they do credit optimization. They also let you pick your own custom term, and that's so important. So many people want the lower rate to pay less interest, but they don't want to go back to 30 years, and you can pick any term you want. They have the pre-approval, which is exactly like a cash deal because the money's there for you already. You are approved. And then the rate guarantee, Think about that. If rates go down over the next 2 years, they refinance you free of charge. 303-867-7000. 867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
Pro Auto Care is my car nanny. Not only do they keep track of
Hey, you should have done a live on that, Tom. I went to timeshare and done a live. That would have been great for more.
whenever I need them. Owner Alaramas. We print out the schedule, all your maintenance, and what we put in your car. Get your nanny on. Get Pro Auto Care. 2 locations, Denver and Littleton. 303 Pro Auto. 303 Pro Auto, and online 303proauto.com. In addition, it comes with roadside assistance. 303 Pro Auto. Frank Duran, the real estate man. Whether buying or selling, you can't do better.
We find the pulse of the market to generate multiple offers, and then we spend our time aggressively.
There's no one better than Frank. I don't know how the fuck he does it. And he knows how to write up contracts. He knows how to read them. Mark, the guy is excellent. Sometimes gets in his own way. He's so good. The guy, he doesn't sleep, does he?
I don't know. I don't know.
303-920-1622. Frank Duran.
Oh, a lot of people are going to be asking about home values real soon.
Have the best head of hair you can.
Well, just because the state assessor's office, everybody just got assessed. I've already had 3 through the website ask them.
And that's where Dr. Broadway and the Neil
They killed me on mine.
It killed me on mine.
How much did it go up? How much did yours go up?
Almost 200. I appealed mine already. I did it.
200,000? Well, they're going by your purchase price, bro.
No, they're not. I wish they would go by my purchase price. It'd be lower.
Or solid surface or
That's what really pisses me off.
Oh, then you're okay. If you purchase for less than their appraisal, Mark.
Yeah, but I purchased 3 years ago.
Doesn't matter. Do you use an escalator? You got it.
And what's weird is it's so cops out there are crazy because they'll be.
What year is it right now?
It's for 18 or it's 19.
I know, but they don't ever. It's never real.
It's for 18.
You buy the granite wholesale.
Isn't it?
Are they? No. Well, I don't know if the county caught up. They do a valuation year.
Yeah. And I think it's for 18. How much was your house worth last year? I think that's
truly worth last year. They're at current values because a lot of places aren't at current.
Yeah, but you pay a year later.
Well, I know that.
Yeah.
But do you realize that some counties used to appraise your home as it was 10 years ago, or 5 years ago? It had nothing to do with.
They're within a year.
Referralist.com.
The notice I got was for 18.
Appraised evaluations are usually below market value.
One guy emailed me, he said, I'm going to hire someone to come out and do what do you call it? An appraisal. I said, well, that's insane. That's going to come back higher than what you're probably going to pay.
I'm Tom Martino.
Your troubleshooter. We got a lot to talk about. Stick around. Really, it's important. Now, timeshares, I've been telling you, the worst investment anyone can make. Liz has a comment or a question. Go ahead, Liz.
I do. Thank you. Good morning.
Yes.
I was listening to the gentleman that had just called in regarding being given this timeshare. My question would be, we made that error a few years back, not just a few, several years back with purchasing a timeshare. However, we did put our kids on it. Would it make it worthwhile?
Now, when you say, what do you mean you put them on it?
Well, as far as, owners.
Did they sign, hold on, did they sign any documents?
No, no.
Okay. Then
No, they did not.
And how old were they when you put them on?
Oh, gosh. They would have maybe been in their 20s.
Okay. If they did not sign an obligation, then you can't, for example, if you put me on it, right, because it doesn't require my approval to be on it. You can put me on it, right?
Okay.
That's not going to obligate me. So by putting your children on there did not obligate them. However, go ahead.
I was under the impression, we did it again, I think we did in 2016 or something, but when we did it, we went in and signed the papers and all that good stuff, and in doing so then thought, oh gosh, this is a good thing, we'll just put the kids on it right now while we're here.
No, that's okay, but what I'm saying is the mere fact that you put your kids on there, it doesn't make them obligated, because otherwise, you could put the president on there. It doesn't matter who you put on there. I mean, they don't, for example, they don't require permission. If you wanted to be me put on your timeshare, if you wanted to put me on there tomorrow, they wouldn't have to get a signature from me. You just put me on your deed. Anyone can quit claim their home to me without my permission. That doesn't mean I take on any of the obligation.
Well, it's interesting because I have heard over time that, inevitably what will happen if you pass away, it goes on to your, to whoever you've got on here. Therefore, that they would need to maintain and
hold on,
everything else.
Liz, it would go, listen, if you had your kids on the deed and it's right of survivorship, your kids would take over ownership. They would not be liable for any of the underlying encumbrances. But listen, here's what I can't believe, that a timeshare company allowed you to do that. Usually, anyone on the deed, they want on the obligation. So, they might try to snowball your kids and BS your kids into thinking they're obligated, but you cannot obligate people without their consent. And your kids never consented. They never read over the loan agreement and signed it, right?
No, they were never there.
Okay, well then you can do one of two things. Leave it the way it is and say the hell with it, and then I hope your kids are smart enough not to reaffirm it when you die, just let it go, or you can take them off now.
And so what would that be to take? I mean, in order to take them off of there, that was my question.
Do you have a deed right now?
I don't have anything in front of me currently.
No, what I mean is it a deeded timeshare or is it points?
No, it's a weak thing. There's no points.
Is it deeded? Do you have a deed? Okay, then all you do is quit claim that deed from the 4 of you to the 2 of you.
Okay. Beautiful.
That's how you do it in real estate. This is not legal advice. This is real estate. You just quit claim. You can quit claim back and forth. But remember this, quit claims do not get you out of the underlying encumbrances. Let's say a lot of people think they outsmart the timeshare company and they quit claim it to someone, and then they say, okay, I'm out of it. No, you're not. You're still on the encumbrance. You're obligated. And here's the problems, Liz. Have you read through your loan paperwork and your maintenance agreements? Even if you give that timeshare away, you're still obligated for those maintenance fees if subsequent owners stop making them.
Yeah, that's the issue.
How much is your maintenance How much is your maintenance right now?
I think it's about $1,200. We have a week. I think it's $1,200 for that maintenance. When we bought it, we paid it off right away.
How much did you pay for it?
I don't recall that exactly now either. That was in 2006. But the point with that is we kept it at weeks because we've heard the points things were crazy.
Right.
Yeah. And that maintenance thing, it does keep going. And I too have talked to a couple
exit teams.
I have. And it's not. It is. You're right. It is not inexpensive.
No.
To do that.
They're five to 10,000, right?
Well, yeah. I think ours was like 40. Well, now this is a few years ago.
No, I mean to get out of it. What were you quoted to get out of it?
I think like $4,700 to get out of it, and this would have been probably 4 years ago.
And you would have saved it had you done that. You would have saved not saved it, but you would have been even now.
Well, except we have used, given it away or whatever. We have done that on a yearly basis.
Okay.
To have other people use.
Where is the week? Where is the week?
It's down in Cabo at Pueblo Bonito Sunset Beach.
Okay.
And, yeah, beautiful property. We just don't get down there like we thought we were going to, and that's the bottom line.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe how many people fall for that stuff. But if you're concerned about your kids, they didn't obligate themselves.
The thing is, though, that maintenance will still follow them.
No, it won't.
Correct?
No, it won't.
Okay.
Listen. Only if they affirm it.
Okay, so there's.
Technically, this is what's really weird. Technically, the way this timeshare, they made a mistake because your kids could inherit that upon your death, and they can't come after you for the fees, and your kids could technically use it and never ever make a payment, ever.
Well, there's no payment due on it except for the maintenance.
That's what I'm talking about. Your kids are not obligated to make a maintenance payment. Here's what would happen upon your death. Do you want to hear what would happen? If you die and leave it in your kids' names, your kids inherit it, right? It's right of survivorship. Is that the way it's written?
I think so. I wish Neil would have.
Well, if it's right of survivorship, that's the only way you should have done it. Otherwise, why the hell would you have done it? So then your kids take it over, yet they're not obligated to make maintenance fees. So what would happen? Your kids would continue to use it. Now, the timeshare developer would come to your kids and say, hey, you better pay this maintenance fee. And your kids will say, show me the contract where I obligated myself for this. And they won't be able to. So here's what they will do. They'll put a lien on the condo on that week for the amount of maintenance, and when your kids refuse to pay it, they will foreclose on it. But it will not affect your kids in any way, shape, or form. They will never be obligated unless they affirm it. Okay? So they have to remember not to affirm it and not to give in to any kind of pressure, or you just get them off before you die. Here's the bottom line. This is one thing that I had an issue with Timeshare Exit Team. The one thing I had an issue with is that they were advertising that if you die, your kids are strapped with this, and they're not. They're not strapped with it. That is not true. You cannot encumber someone who doesn't agree to it. You can't. Could you imagine if that was true? Every parent in the world could leave thousands and thousands of dollars of debt to their kids. There's nothing that would. What if you bought a car and you say, okay, I want the kids to have the car? Do you think that lender could go to your kids and make them make the car payments? They never agreed to it. Just because you put them down as beneficiaries, don't obligate them. But your kids have to be sure not to fall for the BS. And that's one thing I want to get across. No one is going to be obligated for their parents' timeshare unless they sign agreeing to it. Suzanne,
Tom, a listener wanted to know, could you be obligating your estate even if you don't have your kids on it?
Yes, you can obligate your estate, but here's the deal. If your estate doesn't have any money, who cares? Now, if your estate has money, if the timeshare does put up a claim against the estate, that's a very good issue. Let's say they say, we're putting a claim against the estate. You say, here's the condo back, okay? Here's the condo back. Because you can't pursue someone who's dead. You know, the estate's going to be closed out. So, or you could settle. You could settle.
If they were back at that point on death in their, their yearly payments, they might be able to get it up to the point of death if they went after the estate.
Right,
but not after that.
In fact, any creditor can get paid from the estate, not just timeshare people, any creditor. I'm Tom Martino. We have a lot more coming up.
This is Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station. With Ross Kaminsky Mornings, Sean Hannity at 1, KHOW, Denver.
This report is sponsored by White Castle.
There's a few trouble spots to watch out for when you drive across town. Crash being cleared downtown, northbound I-25 at 6th Avenue off to the shoulder. Second crash this morning in the same spot, so please be careful at that interchange. Got a new wreck coming in, eastbound I-70 at Sheridan, blocking the right lane, seeing some delays there. Off highway, avoid the intersection of Sable and Smith Road. It's actually shut down right now due to a crash involving a semi and the A-line train. No estimated time when it will reopen. The weather forecast. Going to be a chance of afternoon thunderstorms today with a high of 66 tonight. Thunderstorms early, then showers and patchy fog overnight, a low of 46. Right now cloudy and 60. With your traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 KHOW.
Want to add some fun to your dinner routine? Serve White Castle sliders. They're easy to make, always delicious, and come in varieties that your family will crave. White Castle sliders, the perfect meal for any night of the week. Pick them up today in the freezer section.
adults who have crooked teeth and always wanted to deal with them. There is a way to do that. Dr. Kent Lawson has pioneered new orthodontics for adults. Straighten your teeth, widen your palate, take care of jaw alignment, help you with TMJ, stop sleep apnea with natural means in 2 years or less, way cheaper than getting a mouthful of veneers. Aurora Orthodontics and TMJ, 303-690-0100.
303-690-0100. You know, Revitalize Health, the hormone bros, I'm going to them. They are fixing me up with there are some hormones that I have a deficiency in addition to testosterone. And these guys are hooking me up. Dr. Donovitz with BioT, he talked to them, and they are the clinic I chose to administer this. They are really great guys. Now, I can truly say I'm a patient in all things with them. My referral list reads like, where's Tom today? And I'll be at Revitalize Health this week. 720-361-2302. If you're low on testosterone or energy, you don't even know what's wrong, go to them and get a complete blood workup. They help defy age with hormone optimization. TheHormoneBros.com. That's why we call them TheHormoneBros.com. They do BioT treatment, which is the most natural delivery, and is for men and women especially. You know, you ward off depression, you build muscle, you feel younger. 720-361-2302, TheHormoneBros.com.
Grew up in a military family, and that's why it's important to me to remind
We have to talk to
take advantage of the VA benefits that you deserve.
Yes. How much? I don't have another spot in this break. How much time do I have?
American Financing thanks you for your free and want to see that you receive the greatest savings when it comes to owning a home on the land you once defended. When using your VA benefits, there's no down payment and no mortgage.
What's shaking, Marco?
I don't know, man. Nothing. So a big case.
What
was it?
You can refinance
I don't know,
any
huge
existing
case.
mortgage or VA loan.
Was it auto accident or what was it?
Slip and fall, safely.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
really? Let's talk about
Even though it's called a VA
Huh?
loan,
Let's
it's
talk about
available to active
Can you talk about it now?
Sure.
Is Safeway, did they use outside counsel or do they have their own?
A salary-based mortgage.
Do they always all these things? How about like Walmart? They fucking probably have inside counsel.
Nope.
They use outside. Yeah, I guess because they have practice in that state. It'd be hard to have someone that could practice everywhere.
Right. I mean, they got their preferred lawyers.
Yeah.
Was the one where they spread water on the floor and then they come by and slips on it?
Yeah, it was that one. They paid me a lot of money on
How about
that.
if it was honey? And they stuck to it.
Nah. This lady went down right outside the entrance.
Ice.
Ice.
Yeah. Ice is a big one.
And they lost the video.
Oh, whoops. So they knew if it did get to a jury, that the jury's going to be, where the fuck is this video?
Right.
Old lady?
No. I mean, 55.
Yeah, not elderly.
Her husband's a Denver detective.
Oh, really?
So she was totally legit.
That's pretty good, man. So they settled 300. What do you think? What were you asking for? $1 million?
844 Larson Tax. That's 844 LARSON Tax.
So I made my week.
That's a good week, man. He just got Safeway for $300K, man.
For what?
Slip and fall.
Slip and fall.
Ice. Then somebody told us slip and falls are too hard to go after.
You know what? I'm like one of the only lawyers who takes the slip and fall.
Safeway lost the video.
Show you how to earn government-secured returns up to 18%. What do they say about this? See how you can access.
They say you can't win slip and falls in Colorado.
Yeah, but some people, I've seen videos on these shows where you see the guy looking around on the aisle and he throws down the cooking oil. And next thing you know, he falls.
Yeah, you know what? There's snow and ice. People don't take it.
No, those are real, though.
But
you have to be on top of that ice, man.
I take them. They go, don't you know it snows and people, jury will never pay.
Did they go to trial or did you settle?
I settled.
So then what made it? Because normally they won't settle that. Why did they?
That's quick to 72,000.
Well, I smacked that firm last September for. They offered me $200,000. I hit them for like $650. Came off at a jury trial, and they lost the video. There's something called.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. 303-713-8255. What's happening in your life and how can we help you? These are questions we ask each and every day. And One Clear Choice Garage Doors is a place. Another place I'm using, I know this sounds crazy. Today alone, I talked about Simply Floors coming to my house. I talked about mudjacking, crackerjack mudjacking. And I talked about the Hormone Bros. And now, honest to goodness, One Clear Choice Doors are doing some garage doors for me, some openers, and they can do them for you. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. They are simply the best of the best when it comes to garage doors. OneClearChoiceDoors.com. So let's talk about this. We have problems with health insurance and a divorce we'll get to. We also have some questions on timeshare we've been dealing with, and if you have any more of those, give us a call. And then if you've been holding like Skylar, we will get to you, and Charles will get to you too, and Todd, so hang on. Stephen, it's your turn. You have a health insurance issue. What is it, Stephen?
Yeah, so I'm going through a divorce. I was told that you cannot keep insurance on your spouse, and I don't think that's true. I mean, what do you mean? So you were told if you are working and you can't insure her any longer as your spouse if you're divorced. Well, that's what she said.
I don't actually. You know what? I don't know that, but it sounds logical to me. If you're not married, if you're not married, how do you?
I was divorced once before, and I kept insurance on my wife and children.
Well, I think you can keep it on your children. Let's find out. John Jones is with Integra Insurance. They're our health insurance experts and people you should go through if you're looking for health insurance. John, can you insure... well, this is an employer's plan. We're not necessarily talking about private. I know with private insurance, you can buy insurance for anyone you want. But, John, do you know anything about HR insurance through employers?
Yeah, Tom, I was just speaking to someone earlier this morning who's going through a divorce.
Yes.
And she is being forced off of the husband's plan.
Okay.
She cannot stay on the husband's plan since the divorce is becoming final. So I think I'd recommend to the gentleman, Steve, that he talks to his HR person and see if that particular group, whoever's insurance is through, would allow him to keep the...
Because it would be a contractual thing. If they wanted to do it, they could.
Yeah, that's where I'll go next, to my employer.
Now, what is your wife, is she saying, your ex-wife, that you need to buy her own insurance?
No, I want to keep it on her. I mean,
okay.
Just being nice.
All right, well, if you can't, do you want to buy a policy for her? Because certainly you can do that.
No.
Okay, so you're saying, what you're saying is, if we're allowed to do it, why not take advantage of it?
Yeah.
And, John, you're saying it would be a company-by-company choice?
Well, what would happen if he got remarried? Could he have two people on there?
No, he couldn't.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, he couldn't have two people.
I'm not going to get remarried.
Yeah.
Fool me once.
Well, hold on. Stephen, wait a minute. You still have the other half to lose. So, John Jones, you're saying it goes group by group?
I'm saying I'm not sure if it goes group by group.
I've never heard of anyone insuring their ex-spouse.
What Steve said, we have seen it where the wife was allowed to stay on the plan.
I've never seen that, but okay. If that happens, just ask. I guess the worst that'll happen is they say no.
I just want to run it by you guys.
Yeah, I wish we had a more definitive answer, but according to Integra Insurance, if the company allows it by policy, by contract, it's allowed. If the company doesn't allow it, it's not allowed. I don't know. I mean, so anyway, let's introduce. We have a guest in today, Marco Bendinelli. He's an attorney at law. He might weigh in on some issues. Marco, what were you going to say about health insurance that John didn't say?
So it's two issues. Okay, first of all, you've got eligibility requirements with the employer, right? At the time the wife is added to the policy, she's the wife.
Right.
So but then in a separate form, you could have the court say, you're required to keep her on your health insurance for 2 years. That's two different issues. You got a court order.
But the divorce court can't go beyond the divorce.
But all you have to do is not remove her. I don't know why you involve
in other words, who would know is what
correct.
Well, except I'll tell you how.
And
she gets a brain tumor, and she's looking at an $800,000 bill, and all of a sudden they say, "Wait a minute, she's not your wife. You guys were divorced a year ago."
Okay, well, but at the time I added her onto the policy, there was eligibility requirements that I met, and I didn't read the fine print, and I paid the premium.
Man, I'm just telling you, $300,000 Safeway claim.
Wait. Can we not go down that bunny hole right now? Really. Stephen, do not take, I'm sorry, I'm just going to say this. Do not take the chance of having your wife on that policy, getting gravely ill, and being rejected because you're not married. I swear to God, I would not do it.
Unless your
Now,
HR people
if you want to do it,
you can have the policy looked at, Tom. You want to have the policy looked at.
Sure.
And see if there's a requirement, you know,
to be married.
Following a divorce, the spouse has to be off the policy 90 days, 180 days, something like that.
Right.
But if it's silent...
And that's what John said, it's a matter of contract. It's a matter of contract. So if, in fact, they allow it, they allow it. If they don't allow it, they don't allow it. What I wouldn't do is leave it to chance. I just wouldn't.
I totally agree with that, but, you know, you're paying a premium.
Right.
And, you know, I mean, what? It might be 20% higher if she
I don't even know if they are paying. I don't know. Stephen, do you pay separately for your spouse?
No, she's
the
on my
employee does. Employer does.
Right,
though.
it's included.
Someone's
right?
paying that premium.
Right. Okay. Why don't you should call your HR, though, and figure out, or call the insurance carrier. I mean, or look at the policy. Look at the policy
I feel
itself.
bad for the poor woman because whatever plan she gets under Obamacare, she's going to have basically no coverage.
Well, even the one he has. John, I want to ask you something. Have you seen where people are married, they get divorced, and they're allowed to stay on the employer's plan? Oh, he hung up, didn't he?
No, I haven't hung up, Tom. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
No, I'm
have
still
you
here.
Have you seen where they are allowed to stay on?
I'm thinking, Tom.
Okay, well, if you don't know, that's fine, too. I mean, if you've not seen it, because Mark brought up a good point. What if he gets remarried? So now he's got 2 wives, and his argument is they were all eligible when I put them on there. I don't think that'll fly.
He must live in Utah.
Tom, if I may say something, you know, that becomes a huge qualifying event. And maybe her income at that point would allow her to get great tax credits.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we're not doubting she can get coverage somewhere, whether or not. And if anyone has ever had this, I'd like to hear from people. Have you ever been divorced and kept your wife on the plan? I know, obviously, you keep your children on the plan because they're still your children. But I don't know about wife. That's the weird one.
And you'd probably want
Skylar. Skylar's been waiting a long time. Skylar, what's happening?
Hey, Tom. So
Hi.
I was calling because I was supposed to rent an apartment from somebody in Maine. I made it clear from the beginning that I wasn't sure that I was even going to be able to make it to Maine because there were extenuating circumstances.
Well, when you say you made
aware.
it clear, how do you make it clear? This is something we hear all the time, made it clear.
I sent her a text message, and I said, so I'm a student, so I made it clear. I said, I'm a student. I'm not sure if I'm going to pass my classes. That is a requirement for me to rent this apartment.
Right.
And I told her in a text message, and she said that's fine. And so
then what did you do?
So then I sent her a holding deposit of $500.
Now, the $500, when you sent that deposit, did you sign any agreements?
No.
What did it say on the
However,
check? Anything?
I put on the payment that it was a refundable deposit.
You put that, what, on the check memo?
Yeah, it was on a note. It was through PayPal, and I put a note
Oh, I
on
see,
there.
on PayPal. So it wasn't an actual check. So you put a note, refundable. Is that something she would read?
Yes, you can clearly see it.
Anyway, you're asking, was that a contract with her to be non-refundable or refundable? What is she saying now?
Well, so she said that just because I was assuming that because she accepted the payment and there was a note saying that it was refundable, that obligates her to pay it back to me.
When did you tell her? When did you tell her you were going to take the apartment? In other words, had you rented it, when would you have taken it?
I would have taken it like this month in May.
And then when did you tell her you could not take it?
Like 2 weeks ago was the soonest I found out that I couldn't take it.
And then 2 weeks ago canceled. Marco, what do you think?
I think that all contracts regarding real estate must be in writing and signed by the
In
parties.
Colorado, they better be. I don't know. But so I think you're going to have a really tough time because you're just going to say, I made it clear, and she's going to say, no, you didn't.
Yeah, but the memo means nothing. We've talked about this. What do I pay my mortgage and put paid in full, and if they cash it, I now own the house?
I just think it's, Skylar, I think it's a stretch. I mean, you sent a $500 deposit, and you told her 2 weeks ago. So does that mean if you told her the day before, you could have gotten your money back?
I don't know. I guess to me, like,
I understand what you're saying completely, but I'm asking you a question. Seriously, I'm not trying to trick you up, but here's what I'm asking. At what point do you think it would be unreasonable to make it refundable? Like, if you called the day before and said, oh, by the way, I'm not going to be renting on May 1st, and it was the end of April, do you think that would be fair?
Yeah, no, I don't think, but I think 2 weeks is a fair amount of time.
Okay, but see, that's the point. You think 2 weeks. Some people might think 1 week. Some people might think 30 days. That's why there are written agreements.
Or never.
So in other words, if you say you made it clear, you really didn't make it clear, because if you made it clear, did you also make it clear a deadline for you letting her know? See, these are all the arguments that will come up. If you made it clear, okay, Ms. Schuyler, how clear was it? Exactly how many days in advance did you agree to let her know?
It would cost her so much to go after that $500. It would be insane. If the woman's not willing just to give it back, what's she going to fly out there?
Well, why don't you contest it? Why don't you contest it with PayPal? What do they say?
I haven't gone down that route yet.
You need to, Schuyler, because I don't think that this woman is doing anything wrong by keeping it. People just, when they say I made it clear, unless there's a meeting of the minds, and she said, this is fine, even in text, if you had it, no problem, it can be refundable, or something. Did you get any acknowledgement?
No, we never talked about it.
That's the problem, Schuyler. That is a big problem. And I feel bad for you, because, listen, if you were my daughter, I'd say, oh, too bad. I would hate this. But I don't think there's anything we can do about it. I would go the PayPal route and just tell them it was refundable and see what they say. I am way over time. Shannon, you're not bugging me. Usually you would be in here beating me up. Okay, I got to take this quick break.
You're gonna come back with 30 seconds.
Oh my God, I'm so over time.
Watch out for it. You drive across.
What do I need to learn?
Nothing. Eastbound I-70.
Nothing. You're giving me great answers. Quick, really good answers. Let's just make sure that
really heavy in the
we
knock
over.
That's what you want.
Let's
if I'm gonna do
no, you have to learn the phones. Honest to God, how to bring up for sure. And then if you bring up,
watch you.
Yeah, well, if you want to, we can bring up. You can talk on this mic if you have something to say. So why don't you come over here?
Yeah, I want to watch what you're
But I
doing.
want to show you.
You don't have to worry about
You're like the man behind the curtain.
I want to show you something. Though.
Yeah, man, I need to know what's going on back there.
Really, because we do have
Under, great, and all kinds
we
of
do
stuff.
have to have you accomplish something if you're sitting here. So why don't you come over?
Yeah, mate.
I want to show you something.
The key is to belabor the same point over and over again.
Oh, okay. I can do that.
Marco, listen.
I'm a pro.
Marco, here's what's important.
We won't have tests.
Do you see how you have a left side and a right side? A left side and a right side.
Yes.
You always take calls on this side, okay? This side. Boom, 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 boom. When you take a call, you press the button. If you take another call, it'll hang up on that one. So if you want to get two people on, you have to actually
15 away, and then you're potted down if you want to show them the phones after you're done with the spot. Okay? You can actually punch them. Here you go, 5 away, forward 30. Forward 30.
Than anyone at USPS.com/future.
This has nothing to do with that? Or is
Let's
this
talk
something-
about John Fuller, personal injury attorney. John Fuller, if you're in a car accident, you want free legal advice, give him a call. John Fuller, 303-597-4500. That's 303-597-4500. John will give you complete information, and if he doesn't think you have a case, he'll tell you. He'll be the first one to tell you if you do have a case. If you hire him, he only gets paid if he collects for you. 303-597-4500, personalinjuryco.com. Normally we won't do that. Normally when we have like two people of the same genre, we put that on. Never mind. We adjust the log and do calls.
He doesn't know.
Okay. He never knows.
You mean how to bring two calls?
No, but normally we don't do that. On your days it'll be just you.
Okay, this is
Go ahead and just show them how to use the phone.
Yeah. Okay. Look. So now watch. If I take this call, you'll see that.
Why is that different here from
I
here?
just want to show you twice. The clock's down there. Let me show you. Then I put it on row. So you put it on hold here. If you take the call, you'll see the arrow. Now watch.
but Frank's
Now,
Frank.
put it on hold, you do that.
You know?
Okay?
I didn't
Put it
that-
on
that
hold.
made- that- so when it's
flashing with those X's, that
They're
means
just
it's
on
on
hold.
hold.
Now,
You know
listen,
what? What's the one between?
That's, she's talking to them.
Oh.
She's talking
So
to them,
what
setting them up.
Frank
Now, here's
George's
what's
wife,
important.
George's
When I take a
mom
call
say
like
about,
this,
dating,
it's going to look
yeah.
like an arrow. See? Then I put them on hold when I'm done talking to them. She hangs up. I don't ever do this. Look, I don't ever do this. Drop. Because then they don't hear me. Many times I put them on hold so they shut up. And
It is funny as hell.
That's right.
But if I do this and drop it,
Then why does
they
Frank
don't
want
hear
the
me.
man?
So I say, you know, Martha, here's what I would do. I would go to small claims court and do this, this, and this, and she hangs
Oh,
up.
yeah, no, I do remember that.
Okay, so that's that simple. Here's the call, it's dropped. Now, if they swear or anything, you just drop it, and they'll take care of the case. You don't have to worry about it. But anyway,
come in here.
it's 10 seconds.
Remember, they were doing a like a salsa.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
But if you ever do it,
They're
this is the
dancing
dumb
like
one
this.
right here.
These framers of Frank.
You can hit that, but I would rather leave it up to
And
them.
they walk in.
Okay, now watch. That's taking the call. Watch what happens if I take a call here. Oh, just hung up on that. So if I wanted to take two calls, like, let's say, John on.
It's like that guy with the insurance.
Okay,
Talking
so
to the
now,
insurance
I
guy.
got the insurance question here. I gotta bring my insurance expert up. I can't do it unless I do this. Watch. I got my insurance call, I do this, and I lock it. See the lock? Now I can take my other guy here. Now I got two people on.
So you hit lock first. You hit
Yes,
twice.
yes. But when I put them on hold, you have to remember that one's locked because it won't go on hold.
Natural
So
spring
this is what I do.
in
I do
Michigan.
this when I know that
Who
bring
was going
somebody
to a
else up.
spring in
I do
Michigan?
this and lock it.
Didn't they
Then
have,
I
like,
bring
some
the other
kind
one
of
up.
lead in
That
there?
tells me I have one lock and one here. Then I
Yeah.
immediately unlock it. So I have both of them. So then when I put them
now
on
you got
hold,
two arrows.
now when I put them on hold, well, sometimes I do this. I put this caller on, I bring up my expert. Now I want to hear on that, for example. Then I know you're going to have a lot to say. So what I do is this. I do this, seriously, and this. So that person goes on hold and I let you talk about his interrupted. So it's just a little manipulation. But
Hey, get ready, guys.
And rates
But it's not
now.
Oh, okay.
You'll see.
I thought Daphne was
And then
really
you want to
no.
I'm going to let you. No, because I want to ask you about the seizure laws in Denver.
This
Bring
one.
it over.
That's just
And
for
then
the
that's
Trump
what's
plan.
right there.
The reason that was such a
Okay,
big
hold
deal.
on. Shannon, would you be able to control his mic, that mic?
Loan for you.
Good.
Without the stress.
Take those because it's
720-895-0400.
That's why it was a big deal.
Fix it
24/7.
I use these guys and you should too. And right now they're doing the Surge Protector Special. This is a whole house surge protector for just $149 completely installed. And yes, I will have them install one for me. I'm not kidding when I tell you I use all of these people. Fix it 24/7. The Surge Protector, $149. Protect yourself from all the coming thunderstorms and from just overall inconsistent energy anyway. You extend the life of all of your appliances. 720-526-3939, 720-526-3939.
Ask Alexa to play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio. Then you can hear Ross Kaminsky tomorrow
See, I
morning.
figure I can talk.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, whether I say the wrong thing or the right thing,
You
but
always
this
say
is
the
what
right
I don't know.
You always say the right thing. Here's the problem. Don't say too much. You don't have to.
Right.
Like, don't educate them on everything.
Right.
Okay, you hear that. That means I'm out of time. But please, please, stay on the line, Charles. We will get to you, I promise. And Ray, Todd wants to talk about High Plains contracting on the referral list and helping an employee. We have a lot more coming up, so stick around. You will get it all here on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-713-TALK.
See, I ran out of time, so that's my problem.
What's that thing?
What? This timer. You don't ever have to use it. It's for commercials.
Okay.
I just make so they're right out of time. You don't want to go too long.
Like if I have to read something into the, like
never have-
1 hour,
You never
like
have to-
hour 1, hour 2, do I got to read anything like
No,
that?
you never have to. We're never going to have you do any of that.
Okay.
All you do is host. You never have to worry about that.
Okay, I don't have to plug anybody.
No, we don't want you to. It wouldn't be cool. So
Okay.
yes,
was gonna ask Marco. Marco, our daughter applied for internship at the Douglas County Arapahoe Elder DA's office. She wants to go into criminal justice. So, but if she doesn't get that, are there other sorts of agencies out there that do that kind of? No, it's not. She's graduating. She just wants to get her feet wet.
Criminal justice.
The nerve, pain, and pressure. Bright Light
I've got a criminal defense lawyer. Full-time. I mean, I don't know what you can teach her. What's wrong with her?
I think she just wants to learn anything and everything, but I don't know that she necessarily wants to be an attorney, but she's so interested in just criminal justice in general, you know?
She wants to be like in the FBI or something.
See, she graduated early. She's in this weird spot because she's graduating as a
How
junior.
long of an intern did she want to do? Internship. I mean, is she going to be like 40 hours or 60 hours or 15 hours?
She'll be in college, so that's impossible.
Exit team.
I wasn't trying to hit you up for help.
I
was
can
just
help
seeing if
her.
you had ideas.
I
out
got a
there.
guy that would love to talk to her.
She could never drive where you're at, though, man.
No.
No.
Not Westminster.
No way.
In Congress, Lisa Brady.
You could move your whole office closer to us.
Well, yeah, I could do that.
Attorney General came and went this morning. Fox's Jared
You know, just like, scoop it up and just move it, like, just like an egg. You know.
If you think it's not, let me know.
I will.
She might have got it. We're trying to just figure out stuff she can do that she's interested in.
Right.
Why do we think she got it?
I emailed the DA's office saying, look, it looks like you guys didn't pick her. Do you have any other ideas for a kid her age, blah, blah, blah. They said, oh, no, we're just delayed. We'll be calling her with questions today.
Oh, so probably second interview part. Make sure it is paid, even if it's not. I don't know. We'll talk about that.
Addie's applying for internships for the DA's office, just so she can, did you get called? Because she put you as a reference.
I told her she could on anything already.
Yeah.
And Stephanie, I told her that.
Anyway, we're just hoping she gets the call for it.
Hurricanes Irma and
But I've not gotten any calls.
Demanding.
Okay, because I know she put your name down a few times.
For documents.
They might not like them.
So who tells me when I got to go take a break?
Well, you actually, it's always the same time, always. 15, 30,
The board out,
45. But it's 15, 30, 45.
15, 30, 45.
And you'll, yes, and you just say we have more coming up. When it comes to 15 or a little over, or don't wonder.
But do you use this?
Yeah, I use that up there.
Over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
They're all the same, though, Marco. You don't have to.
I don't know if they are, Mark. I don't really know if they are. They might be, but.
Oh, yeah, I don't. I'm saying they're all close. You don't have to be.
The top of the hour is when you hear this music. Now that will be a hard out, and that would be like, I think it's 57:19 or 58:19.
That one you have to be the hell out. Because even if you're not, you're going out.
I probably think
When the music starts, so 58:20, right?
58:20.
Except for the third hour, right? Isn't third hour 10? Isn't it different? 57 or something? I don't know.
I thought it was
What did you say, 58:10?
58:20 is out. So first of all, put the brakes. 15.
Is it out the same time each hour?
15.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
15 over 50 million.
Some of
30.
this bounce off a grid.
45, and then out at 58:20.
I'm just your average, everyday, hard-working plumber.
And you could have, Marco, when you do it the first time solo, you could have your kid in, he's an attorney, or do it yourself or
Actually,
whatever.
what I want is you here when he actually does it.
The first time.
The very first time.
I mean, the whole
I don't
point
want
of
to be
this show
here.
is
I'll
so...
tell you why. It would be bad for me to be here.
No, you'd go crazy.
You'd be freaking
No,
killing me.
no, I want you to.
You'd be pummeling me.
No, that's exactly right.
What I would do is I'd probably go in and run your phones.
Moderate to likely chances of showers from this afternoon.
Because I want you to do it solo.
He doesn't mean run your phones here. He means answer the phone.
Yeah.
I really want you solo,
You
so
know,
I'm comfortable.
6:20 is when I was, but
Wanna add
the
some fun to your
reason
dinner
I'm going to
routine?
Italy.
Serve White Castle sliders. They're easy to make,
5:22.
always delicious, and come in varieties that your family will crave. White Castle
My
sliders.
brother
You know, we're online right now.
Any night of the week. Pick them up today.
Kill the mic real quick. You've got to hear this.
Budget A1 Transmission
So,
and Auto Repair has everything you want in an auto repair shop. Experience, ethics, and the greatest deal anywhere. They'll do a free transmission estimate, removing the transmission, opening it up, and looking at all the parts free of charge. They want to be your transmission company. They do all of their own in-house rebuilding, but there is no charge for taking the transmission out and examining it. 303-781-9858. 781-9858.
The history, the artistry, the craftsmanship of firearms through the ages. You'll find them all at the 54th Annual Colorado Gun Collectors Association Gun Show. From medieval weaponry to the guns that won the world wars, you'll discover over 1,000 tables of firearms at the largest show of its kind in the U.S. Saturday, May 18th from 9 to 5, Sunday from 9 to 3 at the Denver Mart. Visit online at cgca.com. The 54th Annual Colorado Gun Collectors Association Gun Show. Hold history in your hands.
But even my wife got crazy. You'd think it's more she doesn't.
I'm going away 522.
No, but you don't either.
You're comfortable in something
To 6'9".
You really are in that weird age because there's people even a few years younger than you that look 20 years older than you. It is a very fucking weird age.
What's a weird age?
65. Because some people look 80 at 65, other people look 45.
You're either youthful or you're not. You're either youthful or you're not. And you know, the guys that are youthful keep moving.
A lot of it's mental.
They keep moving.
Schultz, I still think I'm with
You are doing stuff, you know.
Centeno Schultz is having a seminar tonight. Mark, tonight.
May 6th tonight, baby.
In the Tech Center.
Yes.
6:30.
Yeah, bring your MRIs if you have them. They can look at that. On top of that, they'll have an ultrasound.
There are still seats available. You can bring your MRIs. You can get a sonar. What are they called?
Ultrasound on the spot, and they will give you a live consultation. This will save you time and money, but there is no obligation. It's in the Tech Center. Centeno Schultz for Living Stem Cell Therapy. They were the originals. I mean, these guys are the real deal. Centeno Schultz. And Dr. Chris Centeno started stem cell therapy. 303-963-9201. Give them a call. 303-963-9201. Tonight, the Tech Center, 6:30. I'll be there. You be there. They'll give you an evaluation. They'll look at your imaging, or they'll even take an ultrasound there. 303-963-9201.
630 KHOW has your shot at $1,000. Now, text the nation.
You know, I will say this for them, though. They actually order food and shit. They do pretty good on these compared to some people.
So it's at 6:30. Oh, Stephanie Fleming.
Is she going to come up again?
No.
Remember, she went with the
yeah, because I had to go so far. She drove it.
I need somebody. Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Help me if you can.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. We are here to solve problems, to answer questions, to take complaints, and to make your life just a little easier. Genesis Total Exteriors brings you this hour. Mark Szymanski, Genesis, when it comes to contracting. Oh my goodness, do we get a lot of clowns. That's why you need the real deal. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Look him up, okay? You can trust him. He does large additions, small additions, bathrooms, and kitchens. GenesisTotalExteriors.com, inside and out. Okay, so what's on your mind and how can we help you? Let's get to Todd. Todd, you say you want to help an employee. Is that right, Todd?
Yes.
What's happening? You're with High Plains Contracting.
Correct.
They're on a referral list.
Yes, they are. Good people. What can we help you with, Todd?
Well, he moved into an apartment. Him and his girl moved down here from Nebraska, got an apartment, signed the lease, and a week after they moved in, the leasing company came back and said, "Oh, we made a mistake on the lease. It's going to be like $150 more a month."
No, wait a minute. Hold on. They have a signed deal?
Yeah.
Wait, they can't just reopen that up. What am I missing here?
Well, yeah, that's what I thought.
Well, wait a minute. Let me get this straight. The leasing company signed it, the tenants signed it, and they came back and said, "Sorry, we made a mistake."
Yes.
Marco, Marco Bendinelli, attorney at law, our guest today. He's on the referral list. He happens to be in the studio to say hello. Marco, they have what are we missing? They can't do that, can they?
Well, they got signed agreements?
Do they have signed?
Well, you can file,
Well, first of all,
you can get the court to order the other party to comply.
Well, let me ask this, though. Are they already in the place?
Yes.
Well, then they don't have to do anything, right? Just don't leave. And if they evict them, that would be their defense, right, Marco? I mean, they don't have to do anything.
Well, is it a month-to-month lease? What are the terms?
What are the terms?
No, it's a regular, 12-month lease.
It's a 1-year lease, and they're saying, we made a mistake, you have to sign a new lease.
No, they want them to just pay the difference every month, yes.
No way! I wouldn't do it.
It's so odd.
That's like after a house closing, they give you a new number.
No, I mean, Todd, you know enough to tell them, right, that they have a lease. What were you thinking?
No, I told them, I said, if you've got a signed lease and they signed it and you signed it, I'm pretty sure that's a legal document. But I'm not an expert. You know?
Well, look, I don't know what they signed. Was it on tissue paper or whatever? I wouldn't even think if that matters. But
but if they moved in, it's probably a lease.
Do me a favor. If you want, Marco's here. If you guys can fax it, or not fax it, but email it to us. Can you scan an email?
Okay.
We'll look at it.
Not right now. Not right now, no. I'm downtown dealing with the city of Denver, but I wanted to call because
so far it sounds like they have an agreement, but be sure, and you can send it to us later, and we'll have Marco look at it. 303-713-8255. Ray, what's going on with you, Ray? Ray? He may not have waited. I'll just wait a second here. Okay, so Ray's not there. So, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Charles wants to talk about a Ford. What's happening?
Yeah. Hey, Tom, can you hear me?
I can hear you fine, Charles. What's going on?
Okay, Tom, I've been on your program once before. I have this F-150. It's a 2012, and there's a recall on it for the jumping gears. I, in turn, was in Minnesota, and it jumped...
Is this the one that downshifts into first?
Yes, yes.
And this is an automatic, right?
Right.
And it's been causing accidents.
I blew the transmission. But let me go a little further. I blew the transmission in Minnesota, got it fixed in Minnesota. I come back to Colorado. I saw on the Internet that there was a recall on it. I wrote to Ford. They in turn wrote back to me.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you wrote to Ford because you paid for this replacement?
Yes.
And you didn't know about the recall?
I didn't know about the recall.
Was
I
the
didn't know about the recall at all?
Was the recall out at the time?
No, it was not.
Retroactive.
It was out because I asked the.
Okay, but are they going retroactive on coverage?
Okay, here's what they wrote back to me and told me, because I got a little story on this.
I understand.
They wrote back to me and told me that yeah, they're aware of the recall, and that if I wanted to get reimbursed, I have to go back to my Ford dealership, my local Ford dealership, which happens to be in Broomfield.
And do what?
And they have to submit the information. So I go back to them. I go back to my service manager in Broomfield.
Yes.
At Terrell, and I in turn give them the information.
Yeah.
And then I give them a period of time, a couple of weeks. You know, I go back to them, and they tell me that there is no recall and that I'm out of luck.
Well, hold on. Either there is a recall or there's not. I mean, that's going to be. Then why? Hold on, Charles. Yeah. Why would the dealer tell you there's no recall?
I don't know why.
Maybe
I'm going to go a little bit further. I took my information and I submitted it. I also submitted it to you, and that's why you asked me to call you back. But I also submitted it to Jack Terrell, and yet there's been no response from him.
Charles, listen, wait, just hold on, okay? We have to just settle one thing. You're insisting that your truck is included in this recall, and they're saying it's not. It doesn't seem to me that they would out and out lie about that.
All I need is his VIN number. It's not brain surgery.
Okay, let me tell you this. I went back with my truck Well, when I went to see the service manager, and I had the recall, there's a bug in the.
Charles, we know about the recall. That is not the question. Here is what I need to know. One question only, and you don't have to repeat it again because I understand about the recall, and you're absolutely correct. It has to do with jumping into first gear, burning out transmissions, or causing accidents. But here's what we need to know. Is your VIN number covered or not?
It is, because I had the recall applied to my vehicle.
What does that mean, you had it applied to your vehicle?
They sent me a second letter, all right, saying you got to bring your car in and you got to get this recall applied to your Ford truck.
Okay.
Which is like an acknowledgement that his vehicle does fall within the recall.
Though. What does, but the dealer says it is not covered. Is that what they say?
Okay, no, this is just a service manager. This is not anybody else beyond that. He won't, I even wrote email to him, and he will not answer me anymore. But he just made it off the top of his head. Because I wrote back to him and says, you didn't read the letter that came from Ford. I mean, I'm not asking for him to pay
Can
for
you
it.
send us a copy of that letter?
Just hold on. Okay. He gets a letter from Ford saying your truck is covered. His local dealer says it's not.
Ford may want to verify that the work's been done. What does he have from the Minnesota dealer or Michigan
I want to
dealer?
know why the dealer is saying it's not even under a recall. That's what we have to know, Charles. I mean, we can't go any further. I want to see...
Look at your insurance thing and send us the VIN, man, or read it off to Suzanne.
Give us a VIN number, and then
the work order from the out-of-state work that was done, that you paid for.
Right. No, I sent all of that. I gave it to the service manager. I also sent it to Jack Terhall. All the information.
Charles, did you say Silterhar? Is that who you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Now... But before we go on, okay, do any Ford dealers acknowledge that your truck is included in the recall?
Yes.
Which one acknowledged it?
The Ford corporate.
Okay, that's not what I'm asking.
They wrote me, wait a minute. Tom, they wrote me a letter,
Charles,
letter.
Sometimes they send the letter, listen to this, to everyone, but then they have certain VIN numbers excluded. I'm not arguing with you. I will not take this case until we verify that your truck is included. The only way we're going to do that, the only way, is to get your VIN number, okay, and contact a Ford dealer that we know and trust. That's the only way we can do it, okay? That's it.
Okay.
Help us out.
We need a letter from Ford,
Help
too,
us out.
which may have the VIN on it, right?
Just whatever recall letter he got would be good. Let's just do it. Because what we do with the VIN number is just give it to a reputable Ford dealer, and they'll tell us all of the recalls on it. In fact, all of our auto repair shops can run that and figure it out. So that's what we will do. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. We have lines open. Ray is next, coming right up.
This report is sponsored by White Castle. There's a few slow spots in the highway drive in the metro.
713-TALK.
Hey, our Friday podcast wasn't put up, so we know why.
303-713-8255.
Did you look at our
Okay, so these are the breaks.
email Greg?
I'm gonna use the clock over the
You got his email?
top of the hour. You get 20. You gotta be out, right?
Shannon, can you put it up?
This can be a little
He
before
said
or
yes.
after.
Can you put it up there? Thanks.
Always.
So wait, I mean, do I send? Is that where the podcast goes? That little letter. Single tap goes live. Does double tap is that hold?
It locks.
Selection.
Want to add some fun to to hold is the hold button.
Oh.
Big brother, 10 away. 10 away.
Family will crave White Castle sliders. The perfect meal for any night of the week. Pick them up today in the freezer section. Okay, K&H has the Sign and Save Spring Sale. You're going to get 25% off your entire project, 25% off. That's windows and doors and siding, but here's what else you get. You get a free triple pane upgrade. That's a lot of pane in the glass. Get it? Anyway, K&H
Home Solutions. Now, they like when you go and make your own appointment at khwindows.com. khwindows.com. Remember, financing is available. 25% off the whole project, plus that extra kick of extra pane. You get a triple pane upgrade, which will help you save in utility bills. It'll help you save in utility in the summer from the blistering heat, and in the winter. It's a no-lose proposition. It's just a win-win. Whether you want siding, windows, doors, you get 25% off all of it, plus the free triple pane upgrade. 303-421-7100. That's if you need any information, or you can make your own appointment at khwindows.com.
This thing goes 284 miles.
If you don't use the
per
off button, you create that feedback. Jeez. Also backwards.
Yeah. Now, when you're the host of this, brother, but all your other people should, it causes a major pain. It's terrible.
Now that looks like,
What is it, in the car?
no, a jet suit. Holy shit, look at this thing. This is
a good one.
Pretty badass.
Does it have a jet belt or what?
It's all on your hands.
I want to see it.
It is really cool.
Ideal home loan. No two loans are the same. They
Is this
will
303
write that
though?
loan best
You don't
for
say
you.
it though. You don't
In
say
other words,
303.
if you want a loan that's 13
It's absolutely
years,
incredible.
All the time.
15
All-
years,
every time I say
27
it.
years, whatever the term,
Yeah,
they'll
it's
do it. It's a
important.
flexible term loan. Ideal
really
home loan.
It is just like, what is that guy that flies around the superhero, man? It's just like it.
Iron Man.
Iron Man.
MLS 136756. For terms and conditions, call
440 grand.
Ideal.
According to Remodeling Magazine, replacing your garage door is one of the top 3 investments.
Weighs less than 100 pounds.
Increasing your resale value.
It's $440,000.
Yeah, but you fly around like Iron Man.
The beauty of wood and the efficiency of steel.
What's the name of it?
With a LiftMaster.
Hey, brother, talk you out of a Raleigh house.
It is called,
Hey, why do service writers want to take one recall?
Talk you out of a Raleigh house?
Yeah, but when you say it, help me out.
They get paid.
Long or short? I don't have to less hourly.
Long right now.
See, Martino at Icon Eye Care made me a believer. You see, I was tired of wearing glasses and my eyes getting worse and worse over time, so I investigated this.
But that's a pain in the ass for that service writer.
A clear lens
Because all Ford wants them to do is verify that the work was done and that it would have been the same work
cataracts. Find out more about your clear lens
based on not fixing the recall. It's still too hard on making money on it.
Eye Care.
Not on that. The Raleigh House is an addiction treatment facility. In fact, they have several locations around the Denver metro area. They have urban settings, you know, in the city, and comfortable settings with a caring, loving staff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also have a rural setting. They do equine therapy and animal therapy. They do farming. You know what? They have something for everyone. But the Raleigh House also has free information for anyone facing addiction. Whether you're facing directly or you know someone facing an addiction, this is an information line where you can call and get any information you want about treatment, about cost, about insurance, about triggers, about medical treatments, about individual treatment plans, anything you want to ask about addiction, how to approach an addict, what to say to an addict. What are the telltale signs, all of this. No obligation, totally confidential. 720-730-9722. 720-730-9722.
The Mueller report. Building the wall. Trump economy, Israel 2020. Devastation. Breaking news.
Sean Hannity. What's really going on?
The truth.
This afternoon at 1.
The guy that actually...
That'd be tough to control.
Yeah, but the guy that can control it, he looks like Iron Man. It's incredible, man.
I'm Tom Martino, and I can't emphasize enough tonight, Centeno Schultz. If you're looking for stem cell therapy, they will be doing evaluations right there. So if you have pain and you have like stiffness and arthritis and you're looking at stem cells, don't get hooked by these fake therapy clinics, okay? It's going to be tonight. You got to look them up, okay? Centeno Schultz, and it's at the... It's at the Marriott. The Marriott, 6:30 tonight in the Tech Center, and they'll do free evaluations and imaging and all of that. Now, for some reason, our phones, even though we show we have people on there, Suzanne,
I guess the people disconnected on our phones. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Now's an excellent time. You can get right through. If someone lied to you, cheated you, ripped you off, or you just have a question or a complaint, give us a call. And I want to ask Marco about something we talked about earlier.
Yep, that's where I was going to go.
All right, this is really important. We talked about Denver's nuisance seizure laws. They absolutely ridiculous. Do you do any criminal defense ever? Have you ever done it?
Well, I have earlier in my career.
But did you hear, and if, first of all, if property of yours, any real property or any titled property, any property whatsoever is used or suspected of being used in a crime, it's considered a nuisance, and the nuisance abatement laws say that the city can confiscate and sell said property. But now, obviously, if you have a drug dealer dealing drugs out of a home, they take over the home, or a meth lab, or they're out of the suitcase or out of the back seat of a car or something like that, or if a car is in a hit and run. I mean, we all can see this, but they go a step further, and all you have to do is research it. We've had people, for example, where a kid would let his uncle drive the car. The uncle's driving the car. Police pull him over. The uncle's wanted on a crime. The kid loses his car forever. Forever. The kid has nothing to do with the crime. Nothing. We've had cases where, listen to this, a guy pulls his truck up to a liquor store. He runs in to buy some liquor. His friend's sitting in the passenger seat and is accused of soliciting a prostitute who's a policewoman. The policewoman arrests him and impounds the car. That guy is later found not guilty. They dropped the charges. The guy who ran into the liquor store to buy liquor, whose friend was sitting there,
still can't get his car back.
Never. Never.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I never heard of that.
Okay, you didn't. Okay. See, a lot of attorneys don't know about it. They absolutely don't know about it. And they think that I'm lying. But you absolutely...
I don't.
You can lose. Doesn't it sound impossible?
It sounds... Well, I mean, it sounds unusual.
It's their nuisance...
I don't think Tom Martino is ever lying.
No, but Denver's nuisance abatement laws are so ridiculous that it has been responsible for taking property. I knew this one hardworking kid that had a truck, and he was stopped for suspicion of burglary. They found the real guy. Now get this. They found the real perpetrator. So this kid was let go. He was let go. And it was definitely profiling because they were both Mexican. But the guy that was let go, no charges filed, they still kept his truck. How does that happen?
That's amazing. It shouldn't happen.
Well, okay. Now, Mark said that there have been a lot of changes from the Supremes in February on they have to be reasonable, and eventually maybe these decisions will make their way down to the city of Denver. But why does the city of Denver get away with this? Why? Why does Mayor Hancock allow it, but before him we had Mayor Hickenlooper allowed it? I mean, all mayors allowed it. All DAs allowed it. They don't. Not one of them has ever said this is ridiculous. Not one of them.
The one today, a guy calls up, Colorado Springs, so it's a little different than Denver. His roommate apparently murdered somebody. They've had his vehicle for months now, and they say they can hold it forever.
That's a bad day.
Yeah, no,
on a number of fronts.
Anyway, and since we have an attorney, if you need any legal advice, you can give us a call at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. We were also talking about timeshares, and this is the real insidious thing about timeshares. People who sell timeshares now know that it's a bad investment. They know that people will feel regret, and so they figure, why not cash in on that regret? We already screwed them up, right, and center already. We screwed them, okay? They've already been taken to the bank, so to speak, or to the cleaners. They have committed themselves to financial herpes. They have a timeshare that is worth nothing, and now they say, why don't we profit on their regret as well? So now they have coupled and actually partnered with these companies that are getting people out of timeshares. And they have a prearranged agreement. And they say, hey, I'll tell you what, you bring back customers to us, and you pay us another, whatever, 8, 10 grand, we'll let you out. So we got to sell them again. So now they take the same number of units and keep selling and reselling and selling and reselling. It's like a dog. Have you ever seen a puppy who takes a crap and eats its own turds? That's what this is. That's what this is. The timeshare people are crapping on customers. The customers go somewhere, and then they take their crap back. That's what they're doing with the timeshare. And it's the most insidious thing I have ever heard in my life. And by the way, they have gotten to be like cockroaches at resorts. You can't walk through a hotel lobby without encountering 3 of them. Did you encounter it in Hawaii or not?
No, but we were...
Wait a minute. What do you mean, no?
No, we were on the North Shore. There was nothing there that I saw.
There were no timeshare people.
No, but in Mexico, they're everywhere, man.
In Mexico, if you can stop and ask directions...
And they'll try to sell you one.
Yeah, they do. I mean, it's amazing. You have people...
Or they offer you free stuff.
You got to. Can you ride his mic for him? Because
that's the biggest thing. Is why
Marco,
do these people?
They offer free scuba, free hang gliding, free
night.
You know,
if you agree to sit for a 45-minute presentation,
now they
do not agree to sit
you know
for a 45-minute presentation.
I hear people who say that they do it just to get the free stuff.
We've done it. Suzanne and I have in the past.
Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but they must have one hell of a closure rate if they feel they can give away this stuff.
We had one.
They hold you hostage.
In Puerto Vallarta, we got 500 bones, 500 cash American dollars.
Yes.
For, I think it was an hour and a half.
And
$500.
Were they pissed when you did not...
oh, it always gets ugly towards the end.
It does?
Oh,
when they know you're not going to buy.
That's why
it's never worth the free stuff.
What do they actually do when you sit there and you won't buy?
Oh, you're just here for the money. They try
and say, yeah, I am.
They try everything they possibly can.
Then they bring in the manager, the master closer.
No, listen to this. I love when you're sitting in there.
And they start toasting the couple next to you.
How do you know that? Yes, they pop open champagne, say, another luck they have made a financial windfall.
Those same couples are there every day.
That's a plan.
Last time we were in Mexico, I started noticing, hey, wait, those must be paid actors because these people aren't buying one every day.
And you can tell the people who are there on timeshare, they have frowns on their face, the ones that are on the beach. They don't love it. They're doing it because they have to. They don't have a choice. What moron. Now, listen. I know damn well there's got to be someone who has a timeshare right now listening to me. Please call. I want to make you feel worse. Call.
Oh, my goodness.
Just call. I want to go over the financial obligation you have gotten yourself
You know what? My buddy just did one, and he said my wife wanted it, and that's why I did it. My wife wanted it, and I didn't.
Now,
I just acquiesced.
Now, deeded timeshares are bad. But even worse are the point systems. Because with the point system, you get no deed of anything. You get points which you can apply to a week. But when you apply it to a week, you may have a week in the beginning. But then they devalue the points as time goes on. And you have to buy more points just to keep that week.
They're like pesos. So they go up and down like mad.
So sometimes
mostly down.
You started out buying a week, and you end up with 3 days. And if you want the full week, they have bonus points you're allowed to purchase. Listen, I just can't emphasize it enough.
Or the companies that you pay to get out of them.
But what really disgusted me more than anything, seriously disgusted me, was the absolute how uncomfortable it is to walk through lobbies, because what they say is they'll come up and say, hey, they'll say, are you having a good day?
It's like walking through Sam's Club.
Can we interest you in? And then you don't, you look straight ahead and you say, oh, I'm not going to answer. Or you want to be polite or something. And then they say, what, are you afraid to talk? They actually bother you like that. They say, what, are you afraid to talk to us? You're afraid we're going to try to sell you on something? And yeah, frankly, I am. I don't want to be bothered with you. Anyway, we have more coming right up. 303-713-TALK, 713-8255.
Listen, I'll never do that again.
Do what?
Agree to get some free stuff to go sit for a 45-minute presentation.
I think that'd be a great line.
I never had a problem.
Art of granite.
She gets very upset towards the end.
It always gets ugly in the end.
Oh, it always.
Then I'm not going to have time to use the restroom, right? Because you're putting it at the end.
It always gets.
And then
just be a great line. You just
What spot do you have?
I'll
just do it.
What's going on? Last night.
Oh,
right there. Take that. Right there. Just pull that off there.
Conduct, Kraft previously
Right here.
the
Yeah.
Securities and Exchange Commission
You
is
just pull it off and
investigating
you want to
its
sit down.
accounting
No, I'll get it. Okay.
And the Lord and Taylor
Yeah,
department
I'll let
store
it.
chain could be sold. Hudson's Bay, its parent company, says it's looking into alternatives for the business. It also owns
Probably a good
Hudson's
buying
Bay is
opportunity
in the process
today.
of reorganizing its business, cutting
Any
costs,
negative
focusing
with China always
e-commerce
bounces.
operations. Lord and Taylor has more
really
than 40
wish
stores in the Northeast
he gets
and
that
East
market
Coast, and they
going up
recently
and down
closed their
by
flagship
streets.
store in New York City.
Yeah, but if you look at it in any period of time, it's constantly going up. I mean, yeah.
No, it does, but stuff, I mean, you shouldn't be doing that to
No, it's his negotiations with him.
Okay, what about,
That's how he's doing it.
okay, what about the oil industry, what he's doing to them?
What do you mean?
He says, okay, I want you OPEC to lower the price of
Oh,
oil.
yeah.
I mean, that's like saying, okay, Apple phones. you
Yeah,
need
but
to be
he's
dropping.
trying.
I understand.
He wants the feds to lower everything in price. I mean, he always wants something.
Hurry to proflowers.com. Click on the microphone in the upper right corner.
But I mean, it's just like,
It's like all these fucking liberal attorneys out there. We need more tort laws. We gotta stop these fucking guys. These guys are out of, I heard this one guy got 300 grand. Some lady dropped a pickle jar in her foot coming out of a fucking Walmart.
No. I think that'd be a timeshare, and you would just throw everything back in their face, would be a great lie. If you could somehow could set a camera up. Don't you think? Like in Mexico, I would feel a little tough.
That one was tough.
You might go to jail.
$500 that was the most we ever got. I don't think we've ever done one for.
When did you get the money?
We never did one right there, the second you leave.
And they paid you the greenbacks.
$500 cash, right? Here's what's even weirder. The guy that brought us there, we met on the bus. He got $50 when he delivered us.
Here you go, man. You want to do it?
Oh, yeah, we got it. Oh, he got 50.
What about iHeart Guest? Is that for iHeart Guest or iHeart?
Art of Granite. Art of Granite will get you a beautiful kitchen. All you have to do is call, and you can get the bathroom free when they do the kitchen. They do beautiful granite or natural stone. They're direct stone importers. They also do cabinets with a small markup from the manufacturer. All of their stone products are sold to you at wholesale. There is no markup, and they tear out and haul away free. What I love about Art of Granite is they're proud of their value, so much so that if you call and describe the job, they will give you a price on the phone. Then you go to their beautiful showroom and you pick out natural stone, you pick out your edge treatment, and you pick out your cabinets if you're going to have them, and schedule the whole job to be done, everything done in 1 to 4 weeks. 303-386-5919. 386-5919. artofgranite.net. It said long on here. Okay, good. All right.
Fix TMJ and sleep apnea.
No, that's good then. I didn't go over it.
2 years, and it's at a deal. A few grand, 2 to 3, compared to veneers, which could be $60,000 for a mouthful. The front teeth alone, $25,000. Okay, if you don't believe it, you got to check it out. He has thousands of case histories. Dr. Kent Lawson. He pioneered the new orthodontics with palate expanders, no extractions, no surgery. He has proven that the adult palate does not fuse and can be used, and it can be expanded. So here's the deal. Check them out. 303-690-0100. What you do is you wear these palate expanders, your teeth naturally fall into place along with Invisalign at the end. 303-690-0100.
What if buying a house was like buying a timeshare? A pressure cooker sales presentation with no option for a real estate agent to look over the contract, no inspector to uncover hidden problems, no loan officer to review the terms? You would never.
15 away from a big tinnitus.
If you're stuck in a timeshare, if you can't sell it, if the resort won't let you
That
out,
was a quick break.
You good 5 away?
I hate timeshare.
What am I doing? ExitTeam.com. Denver Stock Station.
I don't think they do anything legal. I think they just negotiate. That's all it is. You can do it yourself. Yeah.
Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center is the place to go if you are being plagued by tinnitus. Tinnitus is a humming or pounding or ringing in the ear that won't go away. You may have hearing loss accompanying that. Sometimes you have one or both. Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center can help you. They've helped me. They have a beautiful new facility at Clarkson and Hamden, right in that urgent care building. They're on the second floor, 303-534-0163. That's Colorado Tinnitus and Hearing Center, 303-534-0163. What I love about the way Dr. Patty, Dr. Lisa, and Dr. Dagmar do business is they let you try out any of the solutions before you commit to them. So you make sure you have exactly what you want. You cannot beat that. And they have a caring staff that will totally evaluate the situation. And then again, try before you buy. 303-534-0163.
Play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio. Then you can hear Ross Kaminsky tomorrow morning 5 to 10.
630 KHOW from iHeartRadio.
If Denver's talking about it, you'll hear it on 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino here. Remember, 303 Martino works 24/7. Leave a number and we'll get back to you for sure. Or if we're in the studio, it'll come straight here, 303-713-TALK or 303 Martino. And Leslie wants to talk about her experience with timeshares. Go ahead, Leslie. What's going on?
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Good. What's happening?
Well, I mean, I went to Cancun, my husband and I, and we went in to do one of the timeshare things. And actually, we got a bottle of champagne. We just talked with the guys, and they were really nice to us, and we're like, we really have no intentions of doing this. And we got a massage out of it, both of us did.
So that's what you went for, just to get the free massages, right?
Yeah, and we sat there and drank champagne the whole time. So
and you told
really...
they didn't even try to sell you?
No, I mean, they did. I mean,
yeah.
Of course they did. But it wasn't, you know, a pressure cooker.
They didn't get nasty about it?
Mm-mm.
Was there a happy ending?
Yeah, we were very happy. We drank a bottle of champagne, and then we went and got our massages.
And they did not try to guilt you at all?
You know, they had another guy come in that, like you guys were saying, the big closer guy. He came in, but really everybody was pretty nice, and my husband and I were just pretty relaxed.
How long ago was it?
Probably 6 years, 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. That was a long time ago. Man, they have gotten there are so many more of them right now. Do you remember what the deal was back then? At all?
No, it was for beachfront property in
it's all beachfront, you know. It's all like a condo, and you get a week. But the extraordinary amount of money they make, oh my God! And it's not even in the sales. If you just do the multiplying, you know, like let's just say $1,000 a year for maintenance, and that's average right now. They go way higher, but $1,000 on a week, that's $52,000 per unit.
Per unit. That's
per
right.
unit. $52,000 a year. They never spend $52,000 a year. And then you might think, well, what if they have to do a roof or something big? They special assess you. That's something timeshare people don't even realize. That you are paying a maintenance fee, right? But if they have a capital assessment, in the paperwork, you don't even notice this, but they say they have the right to do a capital assessment. So you could have, let's say, a 1-week stay at this place, right? And you're paying $1,000 a year or more, okay? Now they have a big storm or something, or they need a roof, or the parking lot, or the swimming pool. They can assess every owner, again, not just a maintenance fee. I'm talking about a capital assessment of $5,000 or $6,000. It is the worst thing you can ever do, but I'm hoping that people listening are so guilted that they're never going to admit they bought one, or you're so smart you wouldn't even go close to one. But if you wanted to ever get out of it, you're going to have to pay, and they know that too. That's the problem. They make money now on both ways. Some of these timeshare companies have divisions just to get you out of it. So now they know you might be coming back, and they send you there, and then they'll make you pay to get out and resell it all over again. So, because here's what they figured. We got people getting out of this so often now and sending attorneys after us that we better just profit. Why don't we benefit from it?
I think these companies just negotiate. You hire one, they call up and say, hey, let them out, we'll give you $5,000. They bill the consumer $10,000, they make $5,000. These guys get the unit back, they get $5,000. I think it's all. I
know, and they do it all. They do it all over again.
Our number said, Tom, they make more money on the resale. They count on the default, right?
Because
they extract $5,000 or $8,000.
More than that, they sometimes, Marco, Oh, I'm talking about the initial purchase. You may have paid $20,000 for that week, and you pay another $5,000 just to get out of it.
Right. Oh, I didn't know that. I thought if you didn't follow the terms of the contract, you just default and they sell it again.
No, they come after you.
They come after you big time. So now you have a couple kinds of defaults. You have the default on the mortgage itself, because some people, they don't pay cash, they finance these. So let's say they finance, the ones I've seen in Hawaii, they were $40,000 and $50,000. We're not talking about $20,000. They're $40,000 and $50,000. So now you're financing $40,000 or $50,000, plus you have maintenance fees. Now some people have actually paid off the $40,000 or $50,000, and they still want out. They still want out, and they can't give them away. But in the presentation, the salespeople are saying, this is a great investment. Oh, yes, you're going to love it. If it's an investment, you should be able to sell it. And I told my wife, and she said she won't walk with me, but next time I go, I'm having a T-shirt made. Timeshares are financial herpes. And I'm going to walk around with a T-shirt. I really am. Timeshares are financial herpes. And I'm also going to I'm going to have different sayings, because I see these pigeons walking up to those kiosks on the beach, and you just see them sitting there, and you wonder what the hell is keeping their interest. What is it? I don't mean the presentation. I'm talking about the presentation to get them to the presentation.
Suzanne and I did a yacht one time.
What do you mean?
It was a yacht. We actually went out.
A timeshare on a yacht?
A timeshare yacht. So we went out for the pitch, and they drive you around in the yacht. If you sign up, which of course you don't, you get the yacht and the captain once a year for a week. It's just like a place, but they did it with the yacht.
And then they said they didn't want the major riffraff.
They said, nope, you guys don't qualify.
So listen, I want to know if ever anyone was turned down buying a timeshare ever. Because
if they have money, how could they be turned down?
I mean, if they're turned down for credit. I wonder if anyone would ever be turned down, because why would they care? Why would they care if they signed you up and you had bad credit? Because what do they care? They get the unit back. They take a chance on you, and then they threaten you. They get to threaten you. Okay, we got wide open lines, 303-713-TALK.
This report is sponsored by White Castle.
There's some slowing in...
That happened to be a timeshare.
Yeah.
That would suck.
I just think it would be...
Because it would look just like any other foreclosure.
About Central Park at that time.
So, man,
Sorry, didn't see that.
we got to really watch it.
Watch your mic.
I went with two of them and I didn't do it, and they didn't do it.
No, I didn't do it.
That one was 500 was worse. They were just, they tried everything. They tried to kill me. They tried
Well, I
everything.
bet you 500, yeah, 'cause that's money walking right out the door.
That's huge out
Versus
there.
like a massage or anything like that.
Man, no one got my happy ending.
I know, I got it.
Oh, yeah, I think everybody
I think the guy across the table got it.
Here we go.
Not the happy ending, he got what you meant.
I can't even believe you did that. And I'm like,
Right now,
if I did that,
We'll crave White Castle sliders, the perfect meal for any night of the week. Pick them up today.
you know, you think we're kidding when we say all of these people that we use on our referral list. Dr. Kelly's one of them. Dr. Kelly is a dentist, Lamoureux, Dr. Kelly Lamoureux, and she does cosmetic dentistry. And Suzanne decided, you know what? I'm going to have some cosmetic work done. And she loved Dr. Kelly. Now, we're talking about after shopping. She did her shopping. She went to like 4 or 5 different places. And you said there was something that clicked with you with Dr. Kelly. What was it? First of all, you walk in the office. What a beautiful office, right? It looks like, I don't know, it looks like out of a magazine. So anyway, I was waiting for the doctor because Dr. Kelly looks way too young to be experienced, but she is experienced and she knows her stuff. So let me just tell you this. Suzanne was looking at some major work from these other people, and Dr. Kelly says, no way. She looked at the way to do it with value, maximum value, and efficiency. She's not looking to just drum up a lot of expensive business. Dr. Kelly, now she's right near the radio station here, 4725 South Monaco. It's a great place to go to visit if you're thinking about dentistry in general, of course, but cosmetic dentistry for a great value, okay? Now, remember, before I would say, hold on a second, why do you want to do cosmetic dentistry? Because she has proven it can be done with value and with minimal invasion. So she only does what needs to be done to give it the right touch and the right look. Obviously, if you had major problems with your jaw and all of that, that's a different story, but she'd be the first one to tell you. But Suzanne just needed some minor cosmetic work, and she found someone to do it. Dr. Kelly Lamoureux, 720-240-4740. Now, I'll give you that number again, but the website is avdentalstudio.com. That's Av, A-V-E, avdentalstudio.com. 720-240-4740.
Ever look at your paycheck and think, there's got to be a better way?
That's your
And they thought that was a good website.
It's a bad website. Bad website.
Flip this house.
Bad.
Av Dental what? Studio?
Start making money in real estate.
Studios?
Now it's your turn. This week, we're conducting a free 2-hour
I don't know
educational
if that's
workshop
right.
here in the Denver area.
Yeah, no, it's right. You know why? Because it's Avenue Dental.
It's a bad
people's
website.
money and how to get
This is
started
the
putting money in your pocket every month.
Tri Lakes is her husband's.
Real estate is a powerful.
Says Dr.
tool
Kelly and
for
Dr.
millions of
That's the only one that's on the
people.
referral list.
No, check your ads.
Until you
Her husband owns Tri
Come to
Lakes.
my free workshop and take
They
advantage
met in
of this
dental
amazing
school.
We have to come up with
opportunity. It could
something
mean a
better than
lifetime of financial security. To get 2 free
That's
tickets
terrible.
to Paul's workshop, text your 5
I gotta
digits.
get rid of
Cheap
it.
smile, stack
Can you
out.
get off? Can you get off?
So text your
5-digit zip code to 37,000. Text in the next 10 minutes, and you'll also reserve a free copy of Paul's Money for Deals guide. Just text your zip code to 37,000.
If you have hail damage, Excel Roofing should be the first call you make, even before your insurance company. Excel will tell you if there's damage so you can be armed with accurate information to file your claim. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Excel will give you a full written estimate and make sure the work is done right. In an industry filled with cheats and ripoffs, I'm glad to have a company like Excel to recommend. No money up front ever, no cancellation fees, no games. Just a great company you can depend on. And judging by all of the complaints I get on my radio show, I can tell you that is rare. Excel Roofing, 303-761-6400. They've always done my roofs. They should do yours too. 303-761-6400. That's 761-6400. Or excelroofing.com.
Century RV, the #1 Keystone dealer in Colorado, has been able to make a special factory purchase on America's best-selling laminate fiberglass trailers and fifth wheels that allow them to break the $20,000 barrier for the first time ever. A new 2019 Cougar for $19,995.
Hello, I'm Troubleshooter Tom Martino. I've recovered millions of dollars for consumers for all types of consumer problems. But when it comes to tax problems and the IRS, I call on my friends at Larson Tax Relief. You should too. Let's be honest, the IRS is good at what they do. They seemingly have unlimited resources. But Larson has been successful fighting them. Hey, we all make New Year's resolutions this time of year, so there's no better time to tackle your tax problems with Larson Tax Relief. I personally know Ron and Jack Larson. They don't judge. They know things like this happen. Let them deal with the IRS or state on your behalf and take the stress off your shoulders. Larson Tax Relief, that says it all. Relief and resolution for all your tax debt problems. Larson will get you the best possible resolution. Pick up the phone and call Larson at 844-LARSON-TAX. You'll get your life back and your tax worries will be gone. 844-LARSON-TAX or online at LarsonTaxRelief.com. 844-LARSON-TAX. Icon Eye Care for your eye care. Now, they do thousands and thousands of LASIK procedures. Okay, they're the official Denver Broncos clinic for LASIK procedures. 866-GOT-ICON. IconEyeCare.com. But I also brag about the Clear Lens Exchange. And they have done that for me, and they can do that for you. That's where you'll never need glasses again. You get brand new lenses that focus just like you were 30 years old again. No more monovision. You get pure vision, new vision. 866-GOT-ICON, iconeyecare.com.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. David, welcome to the show. What's going on, David?
Yes, I was just curious what is like a safe or good, just a recommendation on an email. Like Gmail, I've heard that's a little risky.
You know, Gmail is risky for one reason, okay? Because of phishing schemes, PHISH. No one does encryption and protection and backup better than Google. No one does. But the problem is when all the problems with Gmail narrow down to people who have tricked other people into giving them their password. It all boils down to that. Or they pick a password like password or 12345 or whatever. So really, Gmail is great. I mean, all of the major email carriers have basically nowadays the same kind of technology. You know, the days of new technology, everything was different. Even with HD televisions, okay? They're all great. I wish I could tell you there was one seemingly better than another. But they have all gotten so cheap to make that they're the same. Most of them. Computers, right, Mark? The processors, computers. David,
for the most part.
The same with encryption on email. Technology is the great equalizer. It really is. In fact, it gets increasingly more difficult to sell something and try to be unique. How do you do it? You know, they build in certain things for you, you know, like certain features. But which one do you have now, David?
Well, I canceled one, but I was just going to go and get another one today, and I was going to go with Gmail. And
oh, my God, you can't beat it.
What?
Somebody told you what?
Someone said that they wouldn't get Gmail because, I don't know.
Google has
That's
never.
what I was going to go with.
Google has never been hacked. How about that? Their servers have never been hacked.
Okay.
And here's the other thing. Every single problem, again, every single problem with Gmail has been people who have given access in some way, shape, or form to their email. And I guess it's because Google is so trusted that if they see anything with Google in the name or the logo, they trust it. Now, I've been getting a rash of these new texts, by the way. And Suzanne, I was going to ask you about it because you do a lot of our Facebook. And it says, have you gotten these texts which says, you must review and confirm our new policy, our new privacy policies, and confirm your account or it will be deleted from Facebook. And you click on the link, and it takes you to a login.
That sounds like phony baloney.
No, I didn't do it. I didn't do it, but I've gotten at least 4 of them. I wonder if anyone else. We're toward the end of the show.
I haven't seen that, Tom.
Yeah, it's a text that says you must read our new policy on such and such and confirm your identity or your account will be deleted. Then what it does is it has you sign up, you know, but I didn't do it. It takes you to a sign-in screen, but it's not Facebook. It just is a phishing scheme. And again, that's what happens with Gmail, and that's what happens with a lot of these places. They end up just phishing. So really quickly, okay, and I mean less than a minute, Marco, slip and fall accidents are not impossible to collect on.
I don't know why lawyers that do what I do tell victims of a slip and fall that they can't help them because...
What did you just get? Are you allowed to talk?
You know,
you're not allowed to talk about it?
Yeah, I had a $600,000 verdict. I just settled a case where someone was coming out of Safeway and there was ice, and I settled that case for $300,000. But lawyers are terrified of slip and falls in Colorado.
Why? They say that.
You know what? Well, because the jury verdict reporter which is the historical reporting of all the cases.
Right.
You know, typically lawyers that do what I do lose those cases. I don't.
Okay, you're bragging now.
A little bit.
I like that.
Okay?
Hey, well,
but listen,
anyway.
because I believe in them.
Right.
I don't roll over and say, well, we live in Colorado, everyone knows it snows, so no matter what happens, no one's responsible.
Well, we're out of time, folks. Don't forget, referralist.com. We'll be back here tomorrow and save all your problems for me.
What's in store for your business this week at Staples?
A token and toner of our appreciation.
May is customer.
Has your son litigated anything yet?
You watched, right? You watched, right? You watched.
I
did.
Is there any